Pimp C.
Yeah, what's up?
What up, Pimp C? Talk to me, homeboy. What's going on with this stuff in the Ozone magazine, man? A-Town's kind of furious.
You tell me how you took it, I'm going to tell you what I meant.
Platinum Plus TV.
One City Entertainment.
Okay, let me tell you what the A-Town's saying. The A-Town's basically saying, you know, they think you dissing Atlanta. Talking about Atlanta's not the South.
When I get off the airplane in Atlanta, what time is it?
It's whatever time it is out here, homie.
It's Eastern Standard Time.
But it's still on the south side of the map.
Okay, but it's Eastern Standard Time, ain't it?
But then what you saying that we're not even from the South, like Atlanta ain't the South, like, you know, it's a lot of UGK fans that got their feelings hurt.
But that's how I feel. If you want to get mad at me for the way I feel, then don't get mad at me. And a fight go with that. And this the next thing, man. Anytime an artist in Atlanta makes crunk music and get on a record, they need to shout out to 3-6 Mafia. Because y'all know that's where that music started at, man. You feel me?
But Pimp C, why are you so mad? It just seemed like you real angry.
You know why I'm mad? Let me tell you why I'm mad. I'm mad because everybody on these records lying. Everybody lying. Everybody's this big D-boy. Everybody's these hardcore gangsters. Everybody gonna do this to each other when they see each other. And the truth be told, we too blessed and we having too much money in this rap game to be going to war with each other.
Right. Okay.
And the truth be told, don't nobody want to fight nobody in this rap game. Come on, man. At the end of these records we listen to, we don't get nothing out of them no more, man. We don't get no social commentary. We ain't getting no kind of knowledge out these records. Everybody just talking about how many chains they got on and how much dope they sold. But the truth of the matter is this, I don't believe you, because I know you do, and I know you didn't sell no dope. And the next thing is this, say, man, I'm from Texas, man. I'm from the game. Them prices that them boys talking about, man, them boys ain't got no prices like that in no Atlanta. And if you do, right now, Brian son where my people at, we'll buy it and flush it down the toilet. We don't support drugs. But show it to me, man, because I know who had on backpacks. I know where they past they rolled up in Timberland boots in 1998, and they acting like they some big-time drug dealers.
All right, so everybody running around, they're basically telling Jeezy, because the magazine hasn't hit the stands, that you were pointing him out with the 17.5.
And the Meech talk.
The what?
It says the magazine's making it seem like you pointing out Jeezy with the 17.5 talk, and it has something
and
about Meech.
everybody's blowing up Jeezy phone saying that, you know, basically that it's about to be some beef between you and him. So, I mean, that's just the talk in Atlanta.
I ain't diss Young Jeezy, because Young Jeezy ain't the only one spitting fake dope prices. I'm dissing everybody lying about selling drugs. It ain't touch a nail drug.
All right, what's up with the Russell Simmons comment?
What about it?
I mean, it's basically saying that you saying that he's a
Okay.
That's kind of self-explanatory.
Right. It is.
I see that Ozone article, and you read every statement I made in there. And if you find a place in there where I lied about somebody, you research it. And let me say this, y'all might not like this, because a lot of people don't like stuff. But ATL is considered to be the gay capital of the world right now. And I could have really, really dissed and hurt some feelings. Now, don't you know that?
Yes, sir.
Because I know who the gay rappers is. I know who let them models stick them dildos in them, and I know who did what, where, when, and why.
Wow.
Do you feel like expressing that right now?
Yeah, it's no need to embarrass nobody that ain't done nothing to us.
Respect.
But if you gay, man, and you ashamed of it, you need to stop doing stuff you're ashamed of. Anything done in the dark gonna come to the light. I ain't gotta expose them, because they exposing themselves every day and every night. I'm proud of all the rappers in the South. I'm proud of everybody selling records in Atlanta. But everybody ain't my friend, and I don't like all y'all records. Now, if you want to diss me and get on with me, go on and do it. But the difference between me and them other dudes is this. You gonna diss me, and I'm gonna come see you, Jack. You gonna diss them other dudes, they gonna play lip wrestle with you. So if you want it, man, come on with it. If you want it with me, come on with it. Leave Bun out of it, and we gonna see in the end, because you gonna smell my cologne. Issey Miyake on some Bond number 9, because I do not play.
Platinum Plus
Real
TV.
niggas fuck with me. One City Entertainment.
He went out to Hollywood. And this was in the
early 90s. He went out to Hollywood to pursue an acting career. And he said, he called home and said, man, this thing is easier than what I thought. I don't understand why people are tripping. And then he said right after that he got the call. And the call was like, a such and such producer want to see you. And then he went to this producer, and it was an old white Jew man wanting this guy to fuck him. Wanting this guy Frank to fuck him. And he said, he said he walked out, got on a plane, and went back to Milwaukee. And never you know, walked out and never went back. So he was saying, I know how the game is.
And I can believe that. What was the first movie that Will Smith came out with?
Well, the first one he came out with was a Whoopi Goldberg movie, but the one right after that was 6 Degrees of Separation, which they say he sought after the role. Now, this is one of the keys. But we can go even further than that.
I'm going to have to explain to Elizabeth about the money and calm her. She gets so nervous. Hey, Paul, come on, stop that.
I was wondering if I could fuck you.
Man, I don't do things like that.
That's what makes it so nice. You don't.
And he did. And it was fantastic. Came here for experience, right? We can use this, right?
You're a fool! Your father is right. You are a fool.
Came here for experience. My father is not right. I can't have him be right. It's gonna...
Paul? Paul, you okay? Paul?
Shh! What the fuck is going on here? Who the fuck are you?
But we can go even further than that. Come to find out, one of the biggest gay motherfuckers in Hollywood is Quincy Jones. And Quincy Jones don't play this. You got to fuck him to get where you're going.
I am so sorry that I am not able to be here for this. I want to do another glorious occasion for one of my favorite ladies on this planet that I've known for a long, long time and believe in and will go to the ends of the earth for. Hillary Clinton.
Tupac called his card before he passed on, before he died. You know that, right? Tupac had a big fallout.
Right.
You know, well, Pussy was like, yo, brother, don't come at me like this. Don't do this to me like this.
Right.
Tupac was liking his daughter.
Right, yep.
So him and Tupac had a fallout because of that. Tupac exposed them.
Yeah, well, see, Quincy Jones, you got to Quincy Jones, you got to screw him. And so the Fresh Prince thing came out.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air.
And then about 3 years later, LL Cool J comes out with his show on NBC. Same Quincy Jones production.
You guys have a good time.
You ever made love to a man? No. You want to?
No, sir. Now you look at these two people. They blowing up. They got movies like crazy. Now, you got major female actresses like Angela Bassett and all these good actresses out here. They can't get no roles. But yet, this year alone, Queen Latifah is blowing up. Now, isn't it interesting now that she's blowing up off the hook? She did that little thing with Steve Martin acting like a buffoon.
Oh, yeah, man. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it, but I heard it. The woman, the black feminist perspective, I saw enough of it. I had a bad copy of it, and I saw enough of it on the thing and all to know that I didn't want to see no more. And then she was in Chicago, which won all the Academy Awards. The movie Chicago, which was the play, which they had other actresses that played in the play. Jasmine Guy and a couple other people, when they got ready to cast the movie, they get Queen Latifah. But Queen Latifah will fuck anything because she's lesbian. And I'm not saying that she was right on. Well, she did the movie Set It Off, but right after Set It Off, she was on Saturday Night Live in a bar in the movie, on the TV show Saturday Night Live, and she got up and tongued this other black girl down on the TV show. So now all of a sudden she blowing up. Now, and just about everybody, I mean, Wesley Snipes had to go do the gay movie, To Wong Fu. You see what I'm saying? Had to go do the gay movie.
Stuff like a girl, man.
Chris Tucker.
The whole movie.
Yep, Chris Tucker had to wear the dress in Fifth Element, his second movie. Had to wear the dress in Fifth Element. What's the name put on a dress? He finally made it to the dress in Wild Wild West. Will Smith.
Yes.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like when I connect dots that maybe shouldn't be connected, I don't know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connecting them down like, why all these brothers gotta wear a dress? That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin.
Yeah.
The movie's going good. So I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be the wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in. It's the writer comes in. I think he's the writer. He's like, Dave, listen, we got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And you put this dress on, and what? The prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That should have been in the discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. So, well, if all the greats have done it, it's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? Because I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave, listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. You know, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. What am I, Milton Berle? You know, we're going like this. And then finally he's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What is wrong? What is this, Brokeback Mountain in here? So then, wear the dress. I don't want to wear the dress. I want to wear this dress. You know what I mean? This is, oh, gosh, this guy's so difficult. They leave. Now the producers comes, come on, David, would be so great. I mean, and then I started thinking about it. All the comics that I've seen, man, you know, strong brothers, why they be putting us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant, I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. Guy comes back 10 minutes later, the whole new scene. Hot damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take a stand.
Ving Rhames, Ving Rhames came to stardom. He's been in movies, about 2 or 3 movies, but his stardom came with Pulp Fiction when he got fucked in the ass in Pulp Fiction. Then he later on did another movie recently with Alfred Woodard where he's a big time drag queen. You see what I'm saying? Now let's go on. You know, Denzel is our man, but remember now, Denzel had to get shot in the ass to get the Academy Award for Training Day. Right now. People don't know they shot him in his ass in Training Day. In the movie Training Day, he got shot in his ass.
The next one will kill you. Oh, son of a bitch. You shot me in the ass. Okay, wait. Okay. All right, look. Wait a sec, I need the money. Give me the money, Jake.
Ain't no other white major Hollywood star ever got shot in their ass. So he out of the loop on the homosexual thing, but he got shot in his ass.
You would do it on the octane, my man, doing full. Take 100 blue, slip my wrist to the clip, put one in the groove, put one in my dude, they can let from the roof, that's what my man on the brick, speaking up, she's a DMX, I'm a black tail, you couldn't keep it up, yeah, I can't keep this up, stop on this, keeping up, I better push it down the trunk, PDPD, I heard that you got some homies, I want up for your mama, and another niggas fuck around and bleeding, that's why I remain with my old.
That's right. Fuck that. Shit is whack. If people ain't, they should be more upset about it. The fuck I'm supposed to tell my kids?
Do you feel anything when you come in here, Mike? Or is it just the presence of Quincy that makes it exceptional?
It's both. It's both a lot of hard work.
We spent a lot of time.
E.T. and Carla at the same time.
Laying down on the ground at midnight.
Yeah, sleeping.
18 hours a day like you're doing to James?
Oh, it was more than 18. Oh, yeah, it was really a marathon because in 3 months' time we did a Thriller and the E.T. storybook album in 3 months.
The summer of 2003 at a place called the Brown Chocolate Cafe. I said, I remember the lecture. He said, remember we invited all the rappers? And they was coming to the lecture because he's good friends with all these rappers. RZA, I think Nas was coming and a bunch of them. Even Dougie Fresh.
Right.
And he said they was coming, but somebody missed and put that the rappers was going to show up on the flyer. And he said, then they called and said, yo, we can't do this. We can't come now because, you know, our agents, they look out and they find out that they tell us that we can't go to certain events.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a dent in that since that conscious rap. And it's interesting here because I was talking to a sister named Capita recently, and she was saying that, yes, she was in the music industry, and she said she know rap. She said not only that, they have to report in like parole officers. If they get a big contract, they got to report in like reporting into a parole officer and tell them what functions they go into and whether these whereabouts are suitable for the music industry or the company. So anyway, they didn't come, but they got the tape. He said that the tape that I gave them was about you speaking about how the actors got to wear the dress or get shot in the behind. Mm-hmm. He said, and by Dave Chappelle being big friends with the whole rap scene, they gave the tape to Dave Chappelle. So when he said on Oprah about, I heard about they have to do the dress, he said, the brother Chappelle said, it was based on the lecture that I had done in New York in 2003. Mm-hmm. The thing about it here is, not only do you have to wear the dress, Ving Rhames had to wear the dress, Wesley Snipes had to wear the dress, mm-hmm. Chris Tucker wore a little old flimsy feminine outfit on Fifth Element.
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence has to wear the dress.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith wore the dress.
Mm-hmm.
Just about, all of them wore the dress. And it's interesting here. One guy he was a faggot in Life, and then he did the Joanna Man or Vagina Man or whatever that thing was, that movie.
Right.
And then there was he wore the dress, and then not only that, one of the brothers, I can't think of the brother name, he was from the 70s, he was an actor, and he was on Steve Harvey in the last couple of years, and he used to be on Good Times. I can't think of the guy's name, but he wore a dress in 1987. So they always had this thing with, and this thing started with Flip Wilson, because we asked this question, how did Flip Wilson get a show in the 1970s?
Mm-hmm, playing Geraldine.
Geraldine in 1971 was the whole Geraldine thing. So we got a history of this. Mm-hmm. The other thing here is getting shot in the behind. So Denzel won the Academy Award because he got shot in the behind, and then after he got shot in the behind, they killed him. Not only did he get murdered in Malcolm X, which was a historical thing, so we needed to see that, but almost 10 years later, he gets killed execution style after getting shot in the behind. Mm-hmm. So see, we would think that that's just one movie, but Martin Lawrence got shot in the behind in Bad Boys 2. Mm-hmm. And this is when the conspiracy come in, because the veteran actor Fred Williamson says that I never get killed in a movie and I always go home with the woman. Mm-hmm. Which is right. That's exactly what John Wayne does, Clint Eastwood does, mm-hmm. and James Bond. You always go home with the woman because that cements your maleness. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Always go home with the woman, and I never die in a movie. So when he got up on the set for Starsky and Hutch, the new Starsky and Hutch in 2003 or 2002 when they was making it, because it came out in 2003, he said, they told him, yo, he's supposed to be the boss of Starsky and Hutch, the boss that chews out the reckless cops. He said they told him, yo, you got to get shot in the behind. He said, I ain't getting shot in no behind. Fred Williamson, veteran actor. Mm-hmm. He said, no, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. He said, I'm not doing it. He said, I put my children through school. I don't need it. So then they came back, just like they did with Dave Chappelle. They came back a few minutes later with another script.
Mm-hmm. Already ready.
Already ready. You see, this is a ritual of an attack
You see what I'm saying? That they do own us. We got to understand the attack is coming from multiple levels. But now we know that it's a direct attack on melanin to dehumanize you and to put you at a subordinate position. You see what I'm saying?
But in other words, when it comes to the male, to effeminize him.
Right. You see what I'm saying? The other thing I want to say this too now, there's nothing wrong with fat black women.
Oh, no question.
You see what I'm saying? She's the only a person in the race can get accepted and get many men. You see what I'm saying? We say she's fat, but she got a cute face. But
and some of them got pretty feet.
Pretty feet, and some of them are real sexy.
Right.
A lot of them are sexy, but that's not the point here now. But you got to understand, we're not talking about Hollywood versus fat.
Right.
What we're talking about here is a system and a ritual. Now let me give you an example.
And
of what I'm talking about.
Stereotype.
Now, we know in the 1990s they had tons of black women in the movies. They Angela Bassett, Leela Rashawn. They had one of the girls that played Girl 6. Can't think of that girl's name. Girls that played with Spike Lee, Teresa Randall. Next thing you know, she's gone. They had a bunch of them. Now that's good. And then you can put the heavy-set sisters in there. But it's one thing when Hollywood says, no more. The only people that's going to get the jobs is the heavy-set sisters. So all of a sudden, no acting Queen Latifah becomes the standard, and Monique pulling out movies. And the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm not trying to push them aside, but what I'm trying to say here is something when those are the only ones that can get roles, because we're talking about a ritual that goes all the way back to Hattie McDaniel, who was the first person to win first black person to win the Academy Award. You got to understand how this thing goes here, and the reason why here is it is imperative that they don't show the black woman's sexuality in the standard of what that equals the white woman. And something based on the melanin now, psychologically, these images, there's a reason. Remember I just started out saying there's a standard of beauty that you got to get to. And even if you're fat, you got to be beautiful, because I've seen Queen Latifah turn into a fox on the last couple of movies.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make here is, when it comes to the standard of beauty, which is in Hollywood, you see what I'm saying? Against the Julia Roberts, against the, you see what I'm saying? All these Charlize Theron,
Jodie Foster,
all these particular people, there's a standard of beauty. They're saying that the black woman cannot equal that. You see, and you got to understand this stuff because it's a warfare going on. You understand what I'm saying? And this warfare has devastated the black community for the simple fact is that's why your man don't choose you now, because he's psychologically getting some stuff from images from Hollywood, and you're not a part of that lineup. You understand what I'm saying? You're not a part of that lineup, and that's why they put the fat woman, and they got the little show Girlfriends, and these are beautiful black women, but it's on UPN, which is a station that really nobody really watched. It was one of those black stations. Basically, UPN tried to come out, because the UPN and Warner Brothers came out at the same time. Warner Brothers said that we're going to another level, and the first thing they do, they use the black people to fund when they first come out, and people and the public is not used to them. They put a lot of black shows on because they know that they can get the ratings and they can get the money or whatever until the actual station or the actual company is secure and fortified. Then what they do is they start weeding out the black shows and getting white shows. Now UPN is getting ready to join with Warner Brothers. They're coming together and merging together as one company. But the thing about it here is that Warner Brothers has already become lily white. And so you had the little Girlfriends thing where you see the cute black girls on there, but it was UPN, and that was not considered a mainstream. As far as it, although it was national, it wasn't on the same level as an ABC, NBC, CBS, and in cable, HBO or whatever. So my point here is we got to look at these things here on the image. You see what I'm saying? What is still going on here? Because this is also a psychological attack, and now is what Richard King and them saying, it affects the melanin. Why not? Now let's look at this, because now we doing different studies on East India based on the god Ganesha, or Ganesh. Ganesh is an elephant, and anybody know they say the elephant's memory is impeccable. You see what I'm saying? It never forgets. Well, in so many words, before we messed up on drugs, or we messed up on certain just bad self-esteem and this low level of living, we had memories that's impeccable. How do you think the comedian showed the movie that first night in Chicago to see how the black audience would take it? He said it was an older woman in the crowd sitting near the front, and the older woman said, "Oh Lord," when he was running, I think he was running from the cops or running from, running. He did a lot of running in the movie. And the older woman said, "Oh Lord, please don't kill him." Because up to then, she had been seeing a couple of black people getting killed in movies. Even Sidney Poitier got killed in a movie where a guy stabbed him in the back with a fishing hook in the 1950s, a black and white movie.
Okay.
And the point what I'm trying to make here is we got to put a stop to, well, I know it's not going to happen, but we need to choose not to watch movies where we die all the time. Because, like Richard King is saying, if the melanin is affected by the fear, then that stuff is going into our psyche and into our melanated brain. Now, let me give you an example now, because like I said, in the first when I saw Enter the Dragon, and I knew this was a Enter the Dragon, and it came out later. Enter the Dragon came out fall '73, and I thought it affected me because I was a little younger when the movie came out. But I saw the movie again when I was 30.
Okay.
And I still was affected by the killing of Jim Kelly. Not only did they kill him, they put the brother's death on the movie poster, and that movie poster is shown to this day when you pick up the video or the DVD. The point I'm trying to make here is these things are attacks. An attack a lot of times don't necessarily have to be the tanks rolling down the street. An attack can be psychological. You see what I'm saying? It can be psychological. Let me give you another example. How I was affected the same way in 1990 when Spike Lee came out with Mo Better Blues. I love the character. I love Denzel's character. I love the jazz artist. I was glad that they put a film together about jazz artists because we've been rich in history with that. I like the whole crew. I like the whole setup. But whenever he made the decision for the guy to take the horn and hit him in the face and destroy his and mess his lip up,
right,
and destroy his career, the next morning I woke up and I saw the movie. I was affected by it and stuff. I said, you know what? I didn't like that. I didn't like that, and I said we shouldn't take these blueprints from Europeans who love to see that kind of tragedy, because we got to understand something here. These are our heroes,
right?
And our heroes are heroes should have. You see, they shouldn't be damaged on that particular level, and especially when the European is doing it to us. Like I said, every sci-fi movie, you know what I'm saying, and every time we look up, they cast black members in these movies to get killed. You see, and so my point here is we gotta choose now to stop going to these movies. You see what I'm saying? Where they getting killed. The other thing here is this whole gotta wear the dress. The black actor got to somehow wear the dress. Now,
or play some kind of feminine.
Right.
Oh,
now,
feminine character.
Exactly. Now, give me an example.
Tyler Perry.
And this ain't got nothing to do with no gay community, because I'm gonna tell you something. The white gay community is in on it too, because hell, that's all doggone Hollywood is. It's white gay community. But whenever they want to see, it's interesting how they do things. Whenever they want to push the envelope, they'll get a black person to do it. So soon as Dennis Rodman put on the dress, he got a TV show.
Right.
Back in the 90s. And soon as we knew about a RuPaul, next thing you know, this brother got his TV show. And we got several people can't get a TV show. We got the black woman that's forced out of Hollywood now. You see what I'm saying? They got the TV show. Now let me give you an example of what happened here. As we know that Dave Chappelle came on Oprah, and he talked about how he had heard this conspiracy on how they had to wear the dress, and how he went on a movie set with Martin Lawrence, and he was appearing in a movie with Martin Lawrence, and he got in his trailer and had a dress hanging up. And he said, you know what why I got to wear this dress? He said, I've heard about these stories about, you know, why I got, you know, about the black actors in order to cement your place in Hollywood, you got to do something, either something derogatory or something about getting killed, wear the dress and basically getting shot in the behind. That's the other one. But he said, why I got to wear the dress? So he said, I'm not wearing it. And the director said, no, you got to do this and all. We paid a lot of money for the scene, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm not. He said, it went on about 15 minutes. He said, and then the producer came in and they went on. He said, I ain't wearing the dress. He said, in 15 minutes, they walked out and came back 15 minutes later with another script. It was almost like they said they had a script that was written already where you didn't have to wear the dress, but they put this in here, you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. As a thing that they do to black people. Right. Because a lot of time when they make these movies, a lot of times these movies are written for white people, and then they figure based on the demographics they can make more money by getting that black element in, because they figure it will fail and go to video with some white if it's not strong enough for the white artist. So they put the black people in, and it's $1 million movie. Right. I mean, a million people sell make up so many millions on the first weekend. You see what I'm saying? Now, the key here is, I got a call from a brother Shabazz in New York 2 or 3 days after it aired on Oprah. Anubaresh. And he told me, he said, remember, we had did a lecture in New York. I had done a lecture in Brooklyn in the summer of 2000.
Suge is the boss. He the boss of Death Row. Suge is the Don. You understand? But I'm the underboss. I'm the capo. That is my job. For the protection of all of Death Row, to do what's best for all of Death Row. And Snoop, to do what's best for all of Death Row. My decision wasn't based on I'm coming to Death Row taking shit over. My decision was based on Dre not being there, for Snoop doing his trial, and this is all for real shit. You understand? And that he wasn't producing shit. Other niggas was producing the beat, like on my album. Other niggas was doing the beat, and Dre was getting the credit. And I gotta go on MTV and be like, yeah, he did this, he did that. No, he ain't do it. He is a dope producer, but he ain't worked in years. And I got tired of that. I didn't think we needed that. I think we didn't need that. And he was owning the company too, and he's chilling. He owning the company, he's chilling this out, sucking dick, eating pussy. I'm out here in the street, you know what I mean? Whooping niggas' ass, starting wars and shit, putting it down, dropping albums, doing my shit. And this nigga taking 3 years to do one song. I couldn't have it. But it was not my decision. It was Suge's decision. Suge the one that was coming to me, because I was soft on it. Like, you know, well, fuck it, we just keep it in the dark.
I'm Dr. Dre, gorgeous hunk of a man, doing tricks on the mix that no others can. The nurses say I'm cute, they say I'm fine, so you better beware, because I'll blow your mind.
But everything that I said was going to happen. You remember when I first got kicked out of G, and I told y'all Young Buck was the next to go. Long time ago, man. Long time ago. At the end, it's only going to be Tony Yayo and 50. Banks going to go too, man. I'm telling you, it's only a certain amount of time, man, that you just can fuck niggas in their ass, man. You can't. That's me, man. I seen the rubber coming, I jetted. I'm out. Nigga, I'm not with that homo shit, man. You can do it to them niggas, man. So niggas is, you know, they niggas love ass, butt pirates. They do all that, you know. That's they, man. I like girls, man.
See, I feel like being successful and having it being publicly noted is even adding to my physical attributes. Because when I look in the mirror, I feel special. But when they say, that's fake, and they turn around, like when I walk by and he turn around and look at me like he looks at a beautiful woman, it's because I'm special. Like me, because I'm special.
Damn! Now that's hot right there. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm feeling me right now, man. I'm really feeling me right now. Matter of fact, I'm loving me right now. You know what I mean? I like to just run down to the Justice of Peace and marry me right now. You know what I mean? I want to just kiss me right now. You know what I mean? Oh, baby.
Well, before you go, you've been a hot topic all day on the station.
Yeah.
this picture on the web of you and Wayne sharing a kiss. You gotta say something to the people about that, because a lot of people been calling and say, you know what, they're family.
Hey.
So you share love between your family members.
Before I had a child, Wayne and all of them was my children.
Mhm.
You heard me? Wayne to me is my son, my firstborn son. And that's what it do for me, homie. That's my life, that's my love, and that's my thing. That's my little son. You heard me? I love him to death. And 100 to whatever. And whoever, haters, that's just life. I don't even trip off that.
You know what I mean? So
Believe
what,
it.
you're in the hip hop, arena, and it's like, you don't have to be hard all the time. I mean, you got a heart, you love, and you want to show your expression. And I think if y'all do it that way,
That's
more
my
power
son,
to
man.
you.
You heard me?
Exactly.
My little son, Lil Brian, get the same love from me. That's my thing. That's what I do for my child. I give him my heart, my life, and I pump a blood for him. And I issue some blood for him, too. Believe that.
That's real talk.
I'm 100.
That's
Uptown
real talk.
forever, baby.
All right, there it is, baby.
On the Yamaha, chromed out 1100. What I'm doing, getting money. What we doing, getting money. What they doing, hating on us, but they never cross. Cash money, still a company. And bitch, I'm the boss. And now we studying like my daddy. Studying like my daddy. Studying like my daddy. I be studying like my daddy. Yeah, we studying like my daddy. Studying like my daddy. I be studying like my daddy. Yeah, bitch, we paid.
What's the goings on out there, Ozone Awards? I go by the name of Charlemagne the God, the hood general, voice of the gutter when I speak to streets. Listen, take a good look at this face so you know exactly who to shoot at. Now, I hope y'all enjoying the award show thus far. And I know it's gonna be a lot of after parties after this big function. I know that y'all gonna be drinking. I just want y'all to drink responsibly. I know y'all gonna be on that promethazine and codeine, that scissor. But tonight, just fall back, cause I don't want y'all to end up in a gay situation like this.
What's this?
I don't know how y'all gave Lil Wayne and Baby a pass after that, man. That's not the only thing I want y'all to be easy on. Ciroc vodka. It's a smooth vodka and all that, but don't drink too much of it, or you might start thinking gay-ass thoughts about other dudes like this.
Oh, Rick Ross. Rick Ross. That's all I'm gonna say for now.
Did you see that shit? We gotta see that in slow motion, man. Did you see the licking of Diddy's lips? The gleam in his eye? See, this is why I don't want y'all drinking too much Ciroc vodka.
You're despicable.
Charlemagne the God presents South Cracker Album. In stores and online August 19th.
You're tuned into Raw Real Talk, where we give you the real deal. We give you the raw, real information that you're looking for, regardless whether you want to admit it or not. Yeah, today we're going to talk about something that's always going to be a taboo, like I said. It's these DL brothers. And not just any old DL brother, like your everyday man that's a DL brother. But we talking about these DL celebrities that get caught in a compromising position. Then they want to lie about it. And then they want to disrespect gay people or gay men and women because they've been caught in a compromising position. I mostly see men celebrities or male celebrities responding in such a fucked up manner when they get caught in a compromising position. They say some foul fucked up shit that really be fucking blowing my mind away. Now you have plenty of celebrities out there, and I know you can think of some that's been caught in compromising positions in pictures, on video, saying some crazy shit, acting a way that we consider funny, and then they want to sit up and deny that they're gay. And then they'll say some foul, fucked up comment about gay people because of their own insecurities, and they know they've been caught. Like all these scandals, and that's from Chris Stokes' nasty ass to Eddie Murphy and all these other people that's been caught in compromising positions, and then they want to lie about the situation. Yes, your business is your business, but when you make your business so disrespectful to another group of people, that's when it becomes our business as a people to say something about it. And we have so many DL celebrities, and I'm hearing a rumor has it now, that it is a secret gay society for DL celebrities. And it's something like Hush, and I was reading it off another website, and it stands for something like that. Shit. But all I know is you have a lot of celebrities that's part of this, and they want to disrespect another man or woman for their sexual desires and their sexual choice and how they was born. And even if it was a choice for some people to say that, okay, I know I wasn't born gay, but I decided to do a bisexual act. Okay? And if we're not going spiritual and have some spirituality about the situation, which in the Bible they say is an abomination for two people of the same sex to get together. If you ain't no religious type and you sitting up there, and even if you are a religious type, you shouldn't judge nobody. You should not judge nobody, because that's crazy. But like I said, these DL celebrities is why I'm picking on them today, is because they feel because they're a celebrity and they got some money in their pocket that you can disrespect another folk for something that you doing yourself. And then you have people sitting in church every day disrespecting other folks, and they know they're doing the same thing. Telephone ringing. I told you we're coming to you live. Telephone just ringing in the back. But anyway, you celebrities that's DL, male or female, and I'm speaking to the men mostly because women are more susceptible to embrace their nature of being a lesbian than men are, or being bisexual. And a lot of fake heterosexuals out there with their pH balance all fucked up. You need to stop fucking with people and stop disrespecting folks because of their choices in life, dealing with their sexuality, and like I said, the way they were born. And you know you have sexual desires for another man, and you sitting up there denying it. Like I said, your business can be your business, but when your business starts to spread and you start to do things that put yourself on tape, photographed, like I got a lot of photographs on my MySpace page, a couple, you know, or Raw Real Talk, and you see Cameron in a compromising position. You see P. Diddy in one, and you also see 50 Cent, who said out of his own mouth, and another rapper had to call his ass out on that, a gay rapper, you know, the gay rapper that's openly gay. And he said that, you know, he hate gay people and he don't associate with them. But you sitting up there got a tight-ass vest on, right? A tight-ass vest on with a tie blowing back, looking like you dress up like a woman. But you talking about you hate gay people and you don't socialize with them? But I got some other pictures on there that you looking at dildos. What possible campaign is that? And if you are doing a campaign with condoms, you have a dick and you don't need to see it in plastic. So these are the kind of things that I'm talking about, that these celebrities want to talk about other folks, and you know you're doing some nasty shit yourself. And the reason why we use the word nasty, because that's the words they use that is nasty to associate with gay people. But you doing some freaky shit yourself, seeing videos, Chris Stokes molesting children. You know what I'm saying? Just crazy. And on that note, all you DL celebrities is out there disrespecting folks, get yourself together and stop recording every goddamn thing or sitting up there. Because you know why it's funny to me? You know you're a real person. And if you know you like ass or you like sucking dick, and you want to talk about gay people, and you know damn well when you relax, your ass is going to do what you normally do. And you're going to forget about those cameras and about them paparazzi out there snapping pictures of your ass. And you got people that follow your ass. But you want to sit up there and talk about another person that's openly and willingly sucking dick because that is what he likes to do or she likes to suck pussy, and you want to sit up there and talk about them? Please. So for all of you DL ass celebrities that's fucking with other folks, stop it. It's not right, and you know it's not right because you're doing the same goddamn thing. And like I said on Raw Real Talk, no subject is too taboo. We give it to you straight and raw. And on that note, God bless you.
The gay boule.
Okay.
We have the gay boule, the gay black political scene, and gay Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about that right there, brother? I would like for you to
Well,
take the time.
first of all,
hold up. I would like for you to take the time and to explain it to our audience about what is the gay boule.
I'll go into that.
What is the gay political scene?
Well, I'll use this as the springboard. Two things going on here. Now, this guy here is undoubtedly gay. But here goes the white people again. Obviously, this has to be a personal picture.
That's right.
Or one that is not supposed to be used on the front cover of a newspaper when two people died. See, despite what you think about this guy here doing the shooting, another guy died in the context of this, which just so happened to be good friends with this guy. And which leads us to that whole political part I'll get into in a few minutes of where there's already been made mention that this was a lover spat. But before I get into that, I want to get into this particular part. What does it tell you about the mindset of a people that had a horrendous death, two deaths?
Hold that from the mic.
Yeah, horrendous death, two deaths on July 23rd, which is key. That's the African New Year in ancient Kemet and the rising of Sirius. So we also have some type of conspiracy going on. I'll get into it in a few seconds. But I just want to talk about this. Why would they put this on the front page of the New York Daily News? You see? This picture of a man here, you know what I'm saying, sporting some butt crack and some damn plastic yellow pants on.
Because, see, they not only just talking about him. They
That's
talking
right.
about the black man, period.
There you
when
go.
they do things like that.
It's all a part of a propaganda of dehumanization.
Right.
Not dehumanizing the killer, but
right.
dehumanizing the black man and black people in general.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, another person died in the context of this, so why are you going to make mockery in a certain condescending way the next day? Now, first of all, it was a ritual that's going down, and this is nothing but MK Ultra, the Manchurian candidate, where they could just give a person a phone call and he go and shoot up the place and kill this other congressman, councilman.
James Davis.
You see, kill this other councilman, and his middle name is Boaz, which is a Masonic symbol and a Masonic genealogy of Boaz and a pillar. You see, and so they would do this, and they would put this type of thing on the newspaper, and the New York Daily World is supposed to be very serious, and they would put this type of thing on. This is not by mistake that they would do something like this, and and then they would show another picture of him, and this will let you know, okay, let's say it was one picture, we got this picture with his shirt off. Well, why is it that the next picture they show of him, he got his shirt off again? Which means they're trying to play on something that is going on. You see, his shirt is off again in this particular part, and he's all exposed. So this lets you know that they're trying to convey a certain thing, a certain image, and all. But you know, but it's not by mistake. Why didn't they put this one on the cover? It's a lot decent, but I'm just trying to say this type thing here is still a ritual to make mockery, and we don't get it. We don't get this particular part. You see what I'm saying? But this dehumanizes both people, because they are also insinuating that this was a lover spat. Also, and it very well could have been. But this is how they do things based on this. But it's also still going back. Now you got to understand that why did it happen on July 23rd, which is in case the African rising of Sirius, the star Sirius, and the African New Year for most of the ancient world, and the New Year for people in the ancient world, period. But not only that, remember and I've been saying this since 98, that you must understand that whenever they do this during the summer solstice, it is for distraction. Whenever this happens during the summer solstice, it is always due to distraction. The Abner Luima thing happened during the summer solstice. This is always for distraction. When they would put this type of this aspect on. It's just like this Kobe Bryant thing we'll get into in a few minutes. It's nothing but distraction. Why did they sentence him during the summer solstice? Because they know that during the summer solstice, let me explain out there for the people who don't understand, that black people are closer to not only the star Sirius, but the cosmos, but the production of melanin is at a higher level during the summer months. It's a rebirth of the human spirit, period. And so black people having the highest form of melanin, they have to put certain things that give you a conversation so you can be locked into foolishness so that you can miss some certain things. Because remember now, if the radio station goes off, somebody might start to think. So this is a form of propaganda, which leads us now back to the gay thing. We know now that the Boule, which is a black elite society, started by the Skull and Bones at Yale, and a black elite society, the Boule, which is the people who basically are chosen by the United States government or the Illuminati, let's put it that way, or the secret societies, to run the black neighborhood, whether it be Afrocentric consciousness, whether it be civil rights all-star, whether it be Bible Belt gospel or whatever. They have infiltrated all forms of society. The Boule, Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, and basically Tom expound the black community and make sure that we are always at a deficit when it comes to getting ahead. We are marginalized when it comes to rising to our own aspect, because we always have this infiltration and this agent community that is not someone that's infiltrated amongst the grassroots, but the very heads of policymakers.
So when you say the Boule is like the black elite?
Yes.
The black elites that tries to prevent black people from prospering.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And whatever time that black whenever we do get some crumbs, it is always guided and controlled by the Europeans, and they make sure that we don't govern our own selves. You see, even when we think we're making a decision, the Boule and the government is behind that, because the first rule in the occult technology of power, which is the Illuminati handbook, is always be a part of all groups, fund everything. We fund the radical and the conservative. So even the most radical, a lot of times, have infiltration and can be backed by the same ruling powers, because they really don't care, because they're a secret society. So they even fund the radical. This is a form of mind control. So the Boule, but what is the code and the key that will keep a people year after year since it's been established in the early 1900s, to keep these particular people in secrecy to the point that we only hear about them in the 90s. And they continue to do these things. That is because they go under the same level of the people who started them, which is the Skull and Bones, which is the same ritual, whereas you have to have sexual intercourse with the other man, and that is your secret. That is the thing of yours. The La Costa Nostra, when they say this thing of ours, is the word for La Costa Nostra, this thing of ours. Well, what is this thing of ours? You are sworn to secrecy because of a homosexual act. So this is why it's so ingrained and rooted on such a higher level, because I fuck you in the ass, and therefore I always have this on you. And so therefore our secret, you see, can always stand. Now remember now, this is not out with a gay homosexual ring, whereas homosexual ring, whereas you gay and somebody screwed you and everybody, and you're out of the closet. There's no secrecy in that. These are for upstanding members of society, so on, quote unquote, that stand to lose everything because of the families, because of the whole social order, if somebody found out that they're gay. You see, usually these people are supposed to be the ultimate form of the virile male executing this fake falsehood power in these movements. Is the person that is getting screwed in the behind, so therefore it is an albatross around his neck, and it is a gateway of prison, and it is the strings that control the puppeteer controls, because they have that one secret on you. That is the chain around the neck, the chain around the foot that keeps them bound to slavery. You see, not because of the gay thing, but because of the type of people that are locked into the social order of taboo. These are supposed to be virile, straightforward men that run the society. So therefore, the homosexual thing will be a lot more severe than somebody outside of the closet. So this is something that is even greater, and they make sure that in order to come a part of that society, you got to go through the rites and passages and the oath, and this oath is Dookie Love, or the Hershey Highway. You see what I'm saying? Now this thing goes beyond that. In 1986, I came to Atlanta. I went to Clark College at that time, before it was Clark Atlanta University. They have at the schools, there's 5 schools there, but they all take classes. At that time, when I was there, they all take classes at different parts of the AU Center. So the people from Clark will go, I'll take a class at Spelman, or you could take a class at Morehouse, and it was, and so it's an intermixture of classes you can take all over their different schools. So it works like the regular white university, although the white man won't let them come together as one university. They got to be separate schools. So I was taking this class, an art class, from a guy over at Spelman, and he's one of the world-renowned artists. His name Lev Mills, and I went over to take a class, art class with him. Took several classes with him, and I met a sister there that had known this particular sister that I might have known from South Carolina. She said, "You went to Benedict College, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I went to Benedict College also." She said, "Well, you know Henry Pond?" I said, "Yeah, he was the college president." She said, "Well, one of the girls just graduated from Spelman." I said, "Yeah, she was in high school when I was a freshman." And I remember she later on went on to Atlanta. She said, "Well, she just graduated." And I said, "Yeah, because this was years after it was a couple of years from, about 2 years after me leaving Benedict." And she said, "Well, she just graduated." And she said, "You know that there's a meeting that goes on in Atlanta every year. And the big time dignitaries, college presidents, corporate CEOs, all of the great people that you would think of that has made it in this society that's exclusive, that the ones that the government approved, the ones that you see on all these TV shows and different things like that." She said it's bank presidents, any kind of top-notch Negro, they say that these people, they fly into Atlanta, men, and they have this great day in Atlanta every weekend, every year, a great day annually, and they fly in and they fuck each other. You see, so this thing is going even beyond the boule. It's although a lot of these members and a lot of this stuff was chartered by the boule, there's all these people, and they go in and they fuck each other. These great so-called powerful black men. And so we're talking about an elite society, not just even in the secret society of the boule, but your political society.
Are you talking about the gay boule or the gay black political scene?
We talking about the gay boule, okay, which would be the catalyst. The gay black political scene. You see what I'm saying? Whereas some of your congressmen is gay, like John Lewis. He's there. He's always pleading our case, always hugging up white people. He's gay. You see what I'm saying? You know, so we got these types of things that's going on. Like, take for instance, you have Morehouse College down there. Now let me show you what goes on in Morehouse College. They recruit thousands of young black males from all across the country. That's gay. And they come there as freshmen, and they will get an advisor, some type of mentor, which is a person that is a professor or a person that works in administration of the college, and they will be that particular person's mentor for a year or so. And this person comes, and he gets this older person. It's like that Greek thing. You know, they have these older men that come with the young boys, and they will get with these young freshmen, and they basically would initiate them into a cultural homosexual society. And they have these older mentors, and they get these young guys, and it's an entire gay system that goes in Morehouse College. Not saying that every guy goes there that's gay, but it's a gay system within the college that's sanctioned by the college. And they induct these particular people into an elite society of gay-ro-nees, as a new race to put it. And this elite society will be world rulers with their postgraduate secret society, the Boule, but it goes even further than that. Now, on the regular college campuses, you have your regular fraternities, Kappas, Qs, Sigma Phi Phi, Zeta Phi Beta, and the sororities Delta and AKA. That's your regular college campuses. Well, on Morehouse College, which is an all-male college, they have an underground secret society called Deltas and AKAs, which is a woman's fraternity, a woman's sorority on the other college campuses. There's an underground sorority for men at Morehouse College called the Deltas and the AKAs. It's an unofficial sorority that they, as undergraduates, join in its secret. So the Deltas and the AKAs is one of your top fraternities for black women on co-ed campuses and all women colleges. In Morehouse, which is an all-male college, they have a sorority of Delta and AKAs that's unofficial. It's not connected with the AKA sorority, but it's their own little secret sorority where they have the Deltas and the AKAs right there at Morehouse College. So what you got is you breed a whole homosexual infrastructure that will be the tomorrow's black leaders that the government can also step to, and they can be vulnerable because this thing of ours, based on my social aspect, I can't reveal to the public. So therefore you can control these people. So therefore it leads into the political structure. Now this also leads into the political structure. Now in everyday life, this is a cell that branches out to everyday life. Before I get to Hollywood, I'll get to the part that's everyday life based on what goes on in America. In America, the black guy that's writing a book on it is called The Down Low Male. The down low male is a black male that comes from a society where laws are taboo still when it comes to homosexuality. And it's not taboo in the aspect of this gay-phobic, the homophobic thing that the white man want to put on you. It's taboo based on culture. Now try to understand this. It means that they're going to be ostracized if they come out to the general black community. Because the general black community, our culture is not a culture of gay. You see a gay culture. It's a cultural thing. Try to understand the difference. This is not homophobic. We're not hating homosexuals. It's just that some cultures, although there could be mass homosexuals in the culture, it's still taboo to be gay in the culture based on our historical background as coming from a heterosexual society. You understand where I'm coming from?
That's a disease, man. That's a sickness.
Well, let me explain.
We have to treat it like that. That shit is not normal, man.
Let me explain this to you.
Not for us.
Now check this out. So as a result of it not being a part of our culture, you still have black men that don't have the choice to come out of the closet, because this means that they would have to step outside of our culture, which that is still taboo. Despite we know different gay people, it's still taboo compared to where it's readily accepted in white communities now. You don't say nothing about a white faggot.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Or your ass is in a sling. You see what I'm saying? So, here you have these black men. Now we're not talking about the gay Hollywood now. We're not talking about gay political and the boule. We're talking about individuals, and this is real big. It's called a down low male.
Let's get to gay and hip hop as well.
Okay, we'll deal with that too. Okay. It's called a down low male.
Mm-hmm.
We'll deal with that with the Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
And the down low male is a person based on taboos. He himself does not consider himself a homosexual. Although he may go and engage in homosexual acts, he's saying that's just a sex act. It's like a role-playing game. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not a homosexual. So this is a form of a sex act. It's a different. He's not a part of the homosexual lifestyle, as he says, but every now and then he will go and engage in a homosexual act. And in their mind, psychologically, they're not homosexuals because of the culture they come from. So although they will be married and will have girlfriends and have children, every now and then they will go and get fucked up their ass. That doesn't make them a homosexual. It was more of an experimentation or more of an art form that they can take on and get out of and don't have to be a homosexual. This is all a psychological phenomenon. And it's called a down low male. As a matter of fact, there's a guy that is writing a whole book on this thing called On the Down Low. And I know in 2001, he was supposed to be finishing up this book, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything on it. But the concept here is, in their minds, they don't think of themselves as homosexuals. Although they might go and deal with a homosexual act, they never think of themselves as homosexuals. You see, based on the psychological ramification of the taboo culture. You see what I'm saying? They must always mask that. And whatever they do, oh, that's just an act. That's a form of an engagement. But I'm not a homosexual. You see what I'm saying? So this is another part of the society called the down low male. Whereas another thing, these are people who psychologically hate women. They hate women. These are mostly men that have a lot of women. And the reason why they can get a lot of women is because of the psychological aspect of a lot of black women that have been trained that the only person that they truly like is a person that treats them a certain aloof and with a certain heavy hand, aloofness, and a certain disrespect in a way, because they have been trained in this society that kindness is a level of weakness. You see, and most young black girls will tell you, and most older black women will tell you, when I'm young, oh, I don't want no fucking nice man. I despise a nice man. That's right. Because that's looked on as weakness. So this whole hard thing, being hard, you see what I'm saying, is looked on. So they're looking at a physical aspect of strength and mistaking that as being strength. And when a person is kind to them, they mistake that as being soft and weak. And it is only when they get in their mid-40s and in their 50s then they realize I can't really put up with a fucking damn person that's not nice now. But too often it's a little too fucking late. You see what I'm saying? Not because their bodies are falling apart. It's just that the gap of available men are not out there anymore when it comes to males, because they're either dead, can't function, you see what I'm saying, or socially married, or gay. So, but it's often too late. But the young girls, they want a hard nigga. Now this don't have nothing to even do with the hip hop culture, because this has been going on for years, of what we think. So therefore, the down low male could be the one that don't really give a fuck about him. He could be the one that can succeed with multiple women. You see what I'm saying? And be misconstrued as being very masculine and hard. And they have a hatred for women. But the society say, I have a hatred for women, but my social persona, I wouldn't dare be caught with a man. At least not openly. You see what I'm saying? So this is a part of a down low male. Of a down low male and stuff.
Okay, but now, in our so-called community, you have a lot of young women now, 14, 12 years old, coming up gay, brother. What's up with that? Is that genetic? Is it
okay,
the food?
now let me explain that to you.
And you know how you can tell if they're gay or not? They wear their colors.
Let
They
me,
have
okay.
rainbow colors, and they coming out
Now,
the closet like it's all right.
I'm gonna say something, and I'm gonna come to the defense of two things. Because there's two aspects. The woman situation is a little bit different, because a man has to actually engage in sodomy to carry out his act. You see what I'm saying? In this case, because the woman basically is dealing, the first level is oral sex. You got two phenomenons. This is very interesting stuff that we talk about here, because we all need to put this stuff on the table. So,
That's right.
we're not being disrespectful. We're saying that we're dealing with sociology here. If we don't deal with the sociology of our people, nobody else does. So it's left up to people to come in and deal with the sociology, for people to just try to understand what the society is actually going on. It's a case study. Okay. Now, dealing with the women, because the male has to engage in sodomy, there's two phenomena that is going on, and it's been very prevalent. But I must come to the defense of this what's going on, because it's much more open. To understand this on the social aspect, you got two aspects that's going on. You got the classic butch or dyke, masculine female, who doesn't want anything to do with a male based on what makes homosexuality, whatever the deal here is. They are the classic butch, or that male type of entity that is a homosexual in the aspect that it is completely never going to be with a male. Okay. Then you have, very interested in the female community, you have a female that sometimes is turned out by this particular masculine butch type of male, female, male, she-male, put it that way, that in so many words is not necessarily homosexual or lesbian in the classical sense of the term. You got some women that's caught up in, and I'm gonna give you some social examples, that's caught up in some type of experimentation. This is going, and I say this because this is going on college campuses and in high schools. Yeah. And they're caught up in some type of experimentation based on a vulnerable situation And they go through this cycle. Now it's almost like the down low male. They don't consider themselves lesbians or whatever the deal is, but they go through this particular cycle. I'm gonna give you all these aspects because this is it's a prevalent thing on the high school and college level. So I have to treat it with this thing and not just lump them all up into this because the men's stuff is still kind of taboo. So you still gotta travel. Now you look at these two people. They blowing up. They got movies like crazy. Now, you got major female actresses like Angela Bassett and all these good actresses out here. They can't get no roles. But yet, this year alone, Queen Latifah is blowing up. Now, isn't it interesting now that she's blowing up off the hook? She did that little thing with Steve Martin acting like a buffoon.
Oh, yeah, man. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it, but I heard it. The woman, the black feminist perspective, I saw enough of it. I had a bad copy of it, and I saw enough of it on the thing and all to know that I didn't want to see no more. And then she was in Chicago, which won all Academy Awards. The movie Chicago, which was the play, which they had other actresses that played in the play. Jasmine Guy and a couple other people, when they got ready to cast the movie, they get Queen Latifah. But Queen Latifah will fuck anything because she's lesbian. And I'm not saying that she was right on. Well, she did the movie Set It Off, but right after Set It Off, she was on Saturday Night Live in a bar in the movie, on the TV show Saturday Night Live, and she got up and tongued this other black girl down on the TV show. So now all of a sudden she blowing up. Which asked this question in because they celebrated two people on the Essence Award. They celebrated Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah got an ounce of talent. She sounds like the same rapper in every damn role she does, even if it's a 1930 period piece, compared to Angela Bassett. And she's blowing up, so the Essence Award both celebrated her and Mary J. Blige. And you know the whole thing with Mary J. Blige. You see, so I'm trying to say here this again. This thing here goes beyond that, the Hollywood thing. Now, and just about everybody, I mean, Wesley Snipes had to go do the gay movie, To Wong Fu. You see what I'm saying? Had to go do the gay movie.
He was dressed up like a girl, man.
Chris Tucker.
The whole movie.
Yep, Chris Tucker had to wear the dress in Fifth Element, his second movie. Had to wear the dress in Fifth Element. What's the name put on a dress? He finally made it to the dress in Wild Wild West. Will Smith.
Yes. But 300, that's the name of that movie? 300?
Yeah, I mean, he did the gay thing, 300 degrees of separation. But see,
I didn't see that movie.
But that was a true story about a guy. So he could say, well, it was just a theatrical true story. Although he sought out the role. But he put on the dress in Wild Wild West.
I heard a white boy was on top of him.
Yeah. Ving Rhames put on.
I didn't see that movie.
Yeah, he's in the movie, and the white boy's on top of him, and he's and the white boys, and the woman go around, and the white boy's pumping Will Smith, and he hollering like a bitch. Ving Rhames, Ving Rhames came to stardom. He's been in movies, about 2 or 3 movies, but his stardom came with Pulp Fiction when he got fucked in the ass in Pulp Fiction. Then he later on did another movie recently with Alfred Woodard where he's a big time drag queen. You see what I'm saying? Now let's go on. Denzel is our man, but remember now, Denzel had to get shot in the ass to get the Academy Award for Training Day. People don't know they shot him in his ass in Training Day. In the movie Training Day, he got shot in his ass.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Ain't no other white major Hollywood star ever got shot in their ass. So he out of the loop on the homosexual thing, but he got shot in his ass to do that. Now it's interesting here about your girl. Angela Bassett was offered the role for Monsters Ball and turned it down.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the one that they gave Halle Berry the Academy Award for. So we talking about a crazy clique that's going on and all in Hollywood. In Hollywood. Now let's go on. Like I said, your boy Jamie Foxx playing in Ali with Will Smith and all. But what'd he do? He comes on an HBO special talking about how he fucked the shit out of Prince.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me he was gay for a few seconds, then he said, nah, fuck that, I fuck the shit out of his little ass. See what I'm saying? How he'll fuck the shit out of Prince. You see? That kind of thing. You see? So, and my point here about the gay roles, they take those attack. There's what's that movie? What's that thing that what's the name was a part of? Michael J. Fox, the TV show that he got his little Parkinson's disease and had to leave.
Living Color.
No, Michael J. Fox, and was replaced with Charlie Sheen. With Charlie Sheen replaced him.
What, this was a sitcom?
Sitcom on ABC.
Yeah, I think I know.
Spin City. They got a black guy on there. He's playing the gay role on the thing. And I said, wait a minute, hold on. It's too controversial. Now, this the same people that the same people that ABC boycotted with Disney. Disney owns ABC. So the Christian Coalition boycotts Disney and ABC because Ellen tongues this white girl down on her show and loses her show. But here they got a black guy on here playing a gay role every day. You see what I'm saying? And nobody says anything about the shit. You see what I'm saying? Nobody ever talked about Spin City because that's a black guy playing the role. So what they'll do is they'll even give controversial roles. They'll say, well, give it to the black person. You see what I'm saying? It's like the Halle Berry thing with this Monsters Ball. What they're trying to do now is push the boundaries from rated R into soft porn. And they're pushing the boundaries. So what you do is you don't want it to be controversial. Black people hate white people hate black people anyway, subconscious. Who are we fooling? You give it to her, and if you saw the movie, that shit was graphic.
That's right. Hell yeah. I saw it.
It was graphic. So they take the soft porn, they're pushing the rated R, we show a few breasts, into soft porn, which is the shit that come on HBO and them at late at night in Cinemax. They're pushing it to soft porn, so what you do, you get a black person, because they're not human. And so they can do this without it being controversial when it comes to white people. So you don't get Julia Roberts. You get Halle Berry. And it's a political move. You see what I'm saying? Then the psychological ramification of her saying, look, okay, you black woman, you ain't got no black man. Now, we're not going to give you the elite white boy. Now, you can be his mistress. But he's not going to stand before you on the world stage with a black woman. But you can have our redneck trash. So you give him the monster ball and say, nah, it's okay for you, black woman, to go with the redneck Ku Klux Klan trash. Which he did. Kill her husband and the goddamn son get killed in the movie. And the same guy who executed her husband, Puff Daddy plays the part, he gets executed by Billy Bob Thornton. And she ends up fucking Billy Bob Thornton in the movie. You see what I'm saying?
And when she found out that it was him, she still fucked him. Now, on the flip side of that, there was another movie done with a white woman. And she found out that I think you was talking about that before. That he raped her, did some shit, and when she found out, she killed him. She killed her rapist when she came to her consciousness.
Yeah.
But see, with Halle Berry,
right,
she ended up falling deeply in love with him once he found out that he killed her fucking son and her husband.
It was amazing.
You got to be a punk ass nigga to accept a role like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Enough that Angela Bassett had enough dignity
P. Diddy
to turn the shit down.
And it ain't like you need the money. This motherfucker's a millionaire already. He talking about buying the New York Knicks and all that.
Right.
You know that, right?
Oh, who? Okay, right. Yeah.
He's trying to buy the New York Knicks right now.
You see.
So it ain't like he needed the money.
Right. So we talking. So we still talking the same Hollywood doing things, and they got a new thing, and they're gonna include black people in this. If they're doing it with white people now, it's called metrosexual. They're not, and metrosexual is they're not completely gay. They're just gay enough. And these are white boys in Hollywood, and they wear makeup, they wear different things. They're just gay enough. It's called a metrosexual. Well, I've already seen some of this stuff happening here in the black community. In 1997, I was designing shoes, but they didn't understand I was designing shoes because I found a way to draw the shoes, and I could draw these particular shoes, and I could make money because the companies in Italy could take my design. They didn't have to figure it out. They just make the shoe. So it was an economic thing I did. It wasn't because I was just in love with fashion on some particular level like that. I just was such a good artist, and I said I can branch out into fashion. So I was in an art class in Clark Atlanta University, and it was a tall brother looked like Maxwell. Was up in there. Nice looking brother.
Larry, let me ask you this. A lot of people wonder why. I mean, are you doing this now? You're coming forward now with this when the man is shy of few delegates, a few votes to become the Democrat candidate for the presidential running for the United States of America. I mean, we are talking about a fellow that can be or can become president of the United States. Don't you think that you should have done this before? Why are you doing this now? I mean,
¿Qué tú le estás preguntando? ¿Qué tú le preguntas?
le estoy diciendo a él, le estoy preguntando a él que por qué él está haciendo esto ahora.
Que conteste,
y no lo hizo antes. Why are you doing this now, Larry? You should have done this a long ago, because the man is almost there. I mean, it's about to become the official candidate.
Hector, I have been trying to get this man to become honest about his drug use since last fall, okay? I can't force him to stand up in front of the American people and say, hey, I'm a liar and I'm a drug user. Even more so, I can't force him to stand up today and tell people that he had another gay lover in Chicago that was murdered in December.
Excuse me, Larry, are you saying
¿Qué dijo? Espérate.
Él está diciendo que él no puede estar ocultando una serie de cosas que el público debe saber, ya que él va a ser candidato. Ahora me está hablando de que él tuvo un amante, un gay amante que fue asesinado en Chicago. Déjeme preguntarle, Larry, are you talking about Senator Obama, that he had a homosexual relationship with somebody that was murdered in Chicago?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow. When did it happen?
Donald Young was murdered in December of 2007, and my attempts to contact the Chicago Police Department on information that links Senator Obama to this gentleman and his death have been ignored.
Él está diciendo que él está tratando de que la gente sepa que esta persona que aparentemente fue amante de él, de Obama, gay, homosexual, en el 2007 fue asesinado.
Pastor James Manning. This is a very important program because the issue of Barack Obama's sex and drug abuse are now beginning to take root in this society. Albeit small, it is beginning to be noticed. The Globe is in God only knows how many tens of thousands of stores in this country, maybe hundreds of thousands. This is the second issue they've done on the Larry Sinclair story. I would expect that Pastor James Manning's story will be perhaps in the following episode of this publication and its coverage of the story. So, with respect to your earlier comment that you're surprised that Larry Sinclair is still alive, is safety to be found, Pastor Manning, in publicizing issues like this? Some people say the more people that know, the better.
Well, I suppose I'm ambivalent about the answer to that question, mainly because at the level at which I am speaking, but more specifically what Larry Sinclair is saying, because he's talking about a personal sexual experience with the senator. And that is far more condemning than the information that I can present. So therefore, his life is definitely at stake. I think that there is no safety for Larry, not even in a large number of people coming forward. Historically, you don't get a large number of people coming who do know information such as what Larry knows, and every choir member in Trinity United Church of Christ knows in Chicago, and people around the south side of Chicago knows as well. They don't come forward. I mean, they just don't come forward on issues like this. And it isn't just the fact of fearing for death, but you have a large number of people who sympathize with the senator and feel that, well, we'll just wink at his weaknesses. One several people have written to me and said, okay, we know he's got skeletons in his closet. Leave him alone. He's going to do great things. There's no one running for office who doesn't have skeletons in their closet.
I've heard the same rationale before, too. And, in point of fact, some people are now to the point, and I think it's because this society has been bathed in sexual excess of all kinds and drug excesses of all kinds for so long, they say, so what? He could still be a great president. That shouldn't disqualify him. And that's a very lamentable commentary on America.
Well, I get a lot of that. And then, of course, the people and the circles in which Barack has traveled, you're talking about the African-American people. And for them to turn him in, there should be a loyalty to Obama by black people, no matter what he has done. Do not betray him. But there are people who are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that nothing hinders this perhaps great and historical moment for black people. But again, you have to remember they are closely webbed in sexual deviancies out of the Trinity Church.
All right. I think Americans need to understand that there is, especially in the inner cities, an absolute ferocity supporting Barack Hussein Obama. And this is a rather unusual configuration in American politics because these people, many of them, will, on their own, without being encouraged, do, as you say, almost anything to further the interests of their hero. And that is a very dangerous political issue.
Most assuredly. And it's going to become increasingly so as we move towards the end of the primary. If there is any attempt to derail the Obama candidacy, and a number of high-ranking Democratic officials have declared that there'll be riots in the street if somehow or another this proposed nomination is taken away from him. But that having been said, if someone comes forward, and for whatever reasons, I think that people have respected me as a black preacher and one who's been in the community of Harlem for 27 years, so I've gotten a little bit of slack and respect because I'm just giving out information. Larry Sinclair's situation is different. His is far graver than mine.
If you could sit down face to face with Barack Hussein Obama for half an hour, what would you tell him?
I'll tell him how dangerous he is, and I would ask him to try to hear the sufferings of black people, to hear the sufferings of the women, the black women who lay awake at night, who don't have a husband or man, but have 2 to 3 children, who are struggling to support them, to try to hear the weepings and the laments, and to try to understand that there is tremendous pain. The black woman is perhaps the most ill-treated, most painful woman on the planet today. Nobody knows the trouble she sees raising children, paying the bills. And I'll try to explain to the senator that what he is doing is that he is offering a false hope. And he does not relate. He doesn't understand. And I can appreciate that, Jeff. My problem is the larger problem I see, and one of the reasons that I started on this campaign, is that the black nation can't understand that he doesn't understand that they don't perceive that he is so alienated from them, so outside, so ostracized away from who they are or their concerns, and that he will never reach in to touch them. And so they're giving themselves wholeheartedly over to a fairy tale. It just doesn't mean a thing for them, and it's only going to bring more pain and more disappointment in his candidacy. So that's my problem. And the other thing is that, the black nation have routinely been made wrong choices with their leaders over the last 50 years, which brought us to the office.
That's a very important point, which I'd like to explore with you perhaps in another conversation. Pastor James Manning, thank you very much for being here tonight and sharing your views.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Indeed. Good night, sir.
Take care.
Pastor James.
Masonic celebrities. Is it really hard to believe that all these entertainers in the gospel world, the R&B world, actors, DJs, etc., are misleading us? Well, Black America, I'm here to tell you they are. Let's talk about a guy who's everybody loved at one point in time. This guy's made some great music. His name, Prince. If you notice, Prince's hand is over his heart. That's one of the Mason rituals to show dedication, sincerity, that you will never go against the word. You will keep deceiving the people and honoring the brotherhood. Look here. Prince even takes it a step further by taking a picture with the thumbs, fingers unlocked, and the upward motion. Normally a position like this would be face down, but Prince is showing his brothers that he's still a part of what they do. And how about his buddy, Mr. Rock and Roll star / funk star, Lenny Kravitz? You see, I know it's hard to believe when you first see these things and you say, well, these guys just doing this because they're not where they're at. Everything will be revealed, man. The Most High has told us He's going to reveal everything that was hidden, because there's nothing new under the sun. Lenny Kravitz, superstar. Lenny Kravitz here at a party, and whenever they see the cameras or photos, they know something is going down, so they always on lockdown, meaning they got to always show their symbols that they're down with the brotherhood. Wow, that's the life they lead, man. You know, some people know what they want to do at an early childhood. Yeah, Mr. Michael Jackson before the skin peel. Mr. Michael Jackson been a part of the Masonic rituals for a long, long time. And I know a lot of you don't want to believe that Mr. Michael Jackson molested those children. Mr. Michael Jackson is great indeed a molester. That's one of the ways he never get convicted, because they protect their own. As seen here, he's holding Marine's hand with the thumb down, masonry. As he's seen here in another picture with his hand over his heart, showing his brothers he is truly dedicated and sincere. He gives the peace sign, but I think this one tells it all. What Michael Jackson is really about. His fame, fortune, masonry. Beyonce. Didn't believe Beyonce was a part of it, but she is. The pyramid across the eye, just like the back of the dollar, right? Oh wow, it gets even better. Elton John, who's openly gay, who's never been in the closet. Puff Daddy's hugging him like he's been knowing him for 20 years. I want you to take a close look at that symbol on his jacket. That's a skull with a ring with fire and red within Elton John's jacket, symbolizing Mason. I know it's hard to believe, but how about Danny Glover? His hand is shaped in a pyramid. Danny been a part of this thing a long, long time. Let's talk about Mr. Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has his hand cupped over one another, indicating that he will stay in his place. He will not rock the boat. He will do as he's told. Much like his friend, T.D. Jakes. The same symbol of masonry. These symbols are rituals, and they're letting the elite know that they will stay in their place and keep deceiving the public. Kirk Franklin seen with the hand over the heart and the L motion, indicating his sincerity to his brotherhood. He will keep doing what he needs to do and never tell the truth in the oath that he's taken. So he keeps running rewards, and he will keep shooting up to the top of the charts and getting lots and lots of fame. You notice Kirk Franklin wearing a foundation now. You have to put that into question when any man wear a foundation. And this says it all. Wow. He got Jesus Freak on his shirt and holding up the Baphomet sign. You people better wake up, man. The Most High is coming back in a fury. Mr. Sexy himself stands there, takes the pyramid sign and put a cross over it and makes it into a trademark. Believe that? Look at the hands. Let's take a closer look. That's plain, man. If you don't see that, something's wrong with you. Eddie Long is nothing but a pimp in sheep clothing. Now check this out. Bush, this is definitely the brotherhood. He's congratulating Eddie Long for doing such a great job. Head to head, peck to peck, shoulder to shoulder, knee to knee. Wow. This guy here don't take a lot of pictures because he already know what he's about. But he still made a mistake by putting the thumb under the chin. That's a masonry sign too. Those of you who like Joel, man, look at Victoria, how she's looking out at the camera. She's really looking out at the monitor to make sure everything is in position when they get ready to flash their signs. So Joel does the first sign, right? He's making sure that everyone sees what he's doing. And Fox is just a symbol in the back in the Greek term, 666. Still not convinced? That's okay. Check this out in New York. Victoria stands next to her husband, but you can't quite see her sign, right? So why don't we play a little camera trick and switch it around? Right. There she is in full blown, putting up the Mason sign to let her elite know we're talking to the public, we're on camera, but we're deceiving them as well. All right? Joel is congratulating Billy Joel along with Billy Graham. A handshake like that with the fingers out is congratulating the Mason master, and the master Mason is congratulating Joel on a fabulous job. Notice how Victoria always camera ready. She's got to make sure her hand's in position, and she got to make sure she's on point, as seen here. Before she talks, she got to make sure she's totally in focus, because their wealth depends on their brotherhood. Pyramid sign. If you folks can't see this, man, there's something seriously wrong with you with being in denial. Now we're going to take a look at all of these so-called leaders. Now remember, a lot of the Caucasian people you see that's very famous got a lot of the black folks started when they took them under their wing. So I'm flashing up a lot of different faces. Some of you already know them, some of you don't. You know, Donnie Kirkland, before that BBC Wyans, Ty Tribbett, MC Hammer. You know, we're just scrolling on some pictures because I'm about to get to a point. Mr. T, who would have thought? Billy Blanks, Mr. Tybo Man, Clifton Davis, that's your boy, Mr. Bryant, Jamal Bryant. So why am I flashing all their pictures? Because all of these people have something to do with TBN. And TBN is very satanic. Anyone that goes on there, anyone that follow the rules and take a check from them are the Baphomet. You know, I don't have time to spread it out like I wanted to because everything on a time frame at YouTube, but and I didn't want to do part 1, part 2, part 3, but these people worship the Baphomet, man. And I hope this was enlightening to some of you. Some of you might be offended, but truth hurts. TBN. You know, the symbol itself for TBN networks is very, very satanic. Let's talk about a person who has a lot of influence and been in the business for 40 years. Kenneth Copeland. You know, Kenneth Copeland is very, very wealthy, along with his wife, networking. These people have put a lot of people up like T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. They're responsible for a lot of wealth in the gospel industry. So this is why it is in essence to talk about these people on Black Masonic celebrities. Black people cannot be wealthy if it wasn't for these people setting them up. Now here's a picture of Kenneth Copeland, his wife, and his friend. Notice to the left of you, this guy is letting his elite know with BS in the public. Masonic all the way, man. When are you people going to open up your eyes and see that this is real? Let's turn the page. Let's talk about Queen Latifah. You know, Queen Latifah has did many nasty things to get where she's at. Well, the fact that she sleep with a woman, that's her prerogative, right? Oh well. Well, that's just half of what Queen Latifah did to get where she's at. This woman is very satanic, man. She'll do anything to make a dollar. Well, let's not throw her out there by herself. Let's talk about Wu-Tang. Yeah, who could believe it, right? Roz, Method Man. Well, they are. These hip-hoppers are so full of it, their eyes are brown. Now check out Method Man. I guess here you would say he's just fooling around, right? Well, he's going to turn it the other way to let you know he's down with the Baphomet. That's plain, man. These guys know exactly what they're doing. Alright? They're full of it. Let's turn the other page. Jay-Z, Bill Gates, having dinner with the man. Jay-Z went so far to put the satanic on his shirt. Look what it says. The Rambling Elite. This man is talking about Baphomet. Let's see what they really think of Jay-Z. Someone made a doll. I don't think it ever hit the showroom. But look like here they call him a monkey. These Negroes won't learn. But check him out. He's throwing up the sign as if, hey man, this is just sports. It's no big deal. It's just a gesture. This dude knows exactly what he is doing. Black women, you all really need to learn what you're getting into because they don't have a clue. They're just trying to get a check, right? Check this out. Kanye West wants to know why his mother died so tragically. Kanye West is so deep in this thing, man. He eats, breathes, lives it. He wants to know why his mom, of all moms, was taken. Kanye, you're satanic. Let's turn the tables. America is in love with Samuel Jackson, right? Don't get me wrong. This brother can act. He can act. But have you ever asked yourself how did he get the roles of Star Wars? I mean, that's a pretty important role, don't you think? That role don't come by everybody very easily. So how did he get the role? Well, people, I got some shocking news. Samuel Jackson got the role in Star Wars after he had sex with the owner, George Lucas. Yeah, owner, director / George Lucas is very satanic. Check this out. These are his 2 daughters. What do you see? This ain't coincidence, man. This is how they get down. Samuel Jackson had sex with George Lucas. The entire cast of Star Wars have to have sex with the same sex in order to be a part of Star Wars. There is no negotiation. If you're not willing to do it, you will not be a part of Star Wars. Samuel Jackson knew exactly what he was getting into. Now check out his shirt. There's a crown, a skull. Let's get a better look at this, man. That's the same symbol that TBN uses, isn't it? Very, very satanic. Samuel Jackson is well aware of what he's doing. So don't feel sorry for him when the nukes start hitting him, alright? All of this has a play with the rabbis, the Catholic Church. They condone all this type of mess, man. They behind some of the biggest stars in America. Remember when the Pope was around? Look at that crucifixion of Christ. And they got a lot to do with the NYPD. Look at the hand on the heart. That's satanic, man. And they always send one of their own, the rabbis. Let's check this out. This guy works for the big elite Catholic Church organizations. These guys are satanic as they come. I want you to pay attention to the Pope who passed on. But look at his hands. When he was with Bill Clinton, his hand symbolizes that his time is up and he is now ready to move on. Very, very Masonry. But let's go somewhere else where they all hang out at. Look at the guy with the tassel. His hand's gonna say, hey, we're here, we're getting down, but hey, we're still part of the brotherhood. You understand? George Bush looks at T.D. Jakes with worry. Look at him real hard, man. Just check out how George Bush is looking at T.D. Jakes. Let's take another look. Check that out. Did you miss it? T.D. Jakes look worried, huh? Let's slow it down. Why is George Bush looking at T.D. Jakes with worry, as if T.D. Jakes knows that he's doing something wrong? Huh? Let's look at T.D. Jakes. Is that a man of confidence? If that man really believes he's doing the right thing, that's a man who is worried. But I don't feel sorry for his ass. Moving on. This is where they worship the Baphomet and the owl. The reason they worship the owl is because the owl symbolizes unique, clever, and quiet, and be able to see everything in the dark that most people can't see. Now look at this ritual. That is a baby. That is a child that was sacrificed. I don't know what race it was, but it's a child that was sacrificed for this ritual. Let's take a closer look. Do you see the skull? Do you see the hands? That was a sacrifice, man. That's a crucifixion. All right. When you're getting close to the Baphomet leaders, you'll see a BC sign. You have to park in a designated area, and they have a van or a truck to pick you up. And some of the people that's a part of this, CEO and president of McDonald's, president of France. Yeah, shocking, huh? Pat Robertson, devil himself. George Bush. And we can't forget his best friend, John McCain. Oh wait, it gets better. There is Tony Blair, the UK, right? Look close at the hands. Very Masonic, huh? Steven Spielberg, hot filmmaker. Dick Cheney and friends. Al Gore, wow. Bill Clinton. Now all of these people are being controlled by one man. His name, Evelyn Rothschild. That's right, people. Evelyn Rothschild is the richest man in the world. But he's beginning to pass his power along to his son, David Rockefeller. But don't David kind of look like someone in the past? I mean, to me, he looks like Caesar Borgia. Or is it just me? Okay, let's bring David back. Man, talk about reincarnation. Nevertheless, these people are all about the Baphomet. This is who they praise on a day in and day out basis. Yeah, hard to believe? Let me tell you about the daddy, what he's a part of. He funds the war, okay? Yes, he does. He funds war. He controls banking and real estate, fashion, hip-hop, Disney, the media networks, MTV, BET, etc. All of the sports actresses and actors, filmmaking, fast food restaurants, genetic engineering, 9/11 World Trade Center, all the terrorist attacks. Oh yes, and last, YouTube. You didn't know? Well, now you know. You know, it's all about dollar bill, y'all. This guy got plenty of cake. And all the black Masonic people that sold out, wow, I feel sorry for y'all, man. The Most High gonna tear y'all a new ass. You see, this man is not that powerful because the Most High set him up. But the Most High is the only one can tear him down. All praise to Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. America is done. And America will be destroyed by thermonuclear war. Sooner than you think. Yes, in our lifetime. Shalom. I've been getting a lot of emails asking a lot of questions about the Black Masonic. Let's just put it this way. If you're in the hip-hop industry, music, modeling, acting, athletic world, and you're wealthy, chances are the Illuminati owns your ass. Black Masonic 3, Black Hollywood, the finale. We're gonna kick this thing off with a twist, and the video may go kind of fast, so bear with us. Let's talk about Jamie Foxx. You know, Jamie Foxx is very deep Masonic, man. Deep. As seen here, skull and bones with the Indian leaf around their head. Now that's about dirty as you can get. But you know, these dudes do anything to get their name on the walk of shame. And notice who surround them. The so-called Jewish people. They run Hollywood. Without them and the director's couch, you can't make money. But I want you to listen to this clip as Jamie Foxx make a sexual gesture towards Lenny Kravitz.
Here backstage, 2002. I wore a see-through shirt. So that lets you know how I feel about the man right now. And I'm not afraid to say that I embrace his music, him as a man and as a person. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't mean that I'm gay or anything like that. But I'm just saying, if I was to go there, okay, so he's my first choice. I'm just saying. But I'm saying that in a very like, what's up type way. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be like the average type thing. It would be like, Lenny, what's up, what's up with that stuff? It wouldn't be like, you know, no feminine. It would be like homies sharing music, and then we shared love. Lenny Kravitz.
Can someone say thug loving? I mean, Jamie and P. Diddy looking at each other like they can't wait to get back in the bed. Look like they've been lovers for a long time. Any way you slice it, fellas, that's some sissy shit right there. And this clarifies what I'm saying. Big-time director guru Michael Mann gives Jamie Foxx a big kiss on the cheek. The brother in the corner looking at that shit like hell to the no. But you got to go to the director's chair to get your money. He so runs Hollywood, and this is how they get paid. But Jamie gives in and throws up the Baphomet sign to let his elite know he's down for the cause and down with the brotherhood. Another great actor, Mr. Fishburne. However, he sold out a long time ago. Don't have much to say, as seen here, but the Most High gonna light y'all ass up, and I can't wait. Let's talk about Reverend Ron. He don't have much success in the hip-hop world, so he decided to go into the pastor world, the reverend, the bishop. Man, this guy is all fake. Hand over the heart, masonry. Letting his elite know he's gonna stay in his place. But who taught him all of this? Big brother Russell. By the way, Russell is a flaming faggot. Enough. Let's talk about Nelly. You know, Nelly, very talented brother, but he's a very heavy steroid user. Nelly was investigated for illegal steroid use, along with 50 Cent, Tyler Perry, Mary J. Blige, and a roster of all of them doing illegal steroids. Now, steroids are just like heroin, they're hard to kick. This is how Nelly used to look. And by the way, Nelly tells his brothers with his hand gesture that he's down for the brotherhood too. Because if Nelly don't flex his sign every now and then, he can't get paid. These people are all a part of Masonic. Nelly is addicted to steroids. BET, Stephen, Vice President. To be successful, you got to go to his director's couch. He's a flaming faggot. Yes, sir. Well, enough. Let's talk about the agents in the hip-hop industry. How did you think T.I. got off with those armed weapons? This guy worked for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Don't get it twisted. As seen here with his hands cupped to one another, the masonry sign to let his brotherhood know he's down for the cause. And the skull and bones shirt should tell you if nothing else tell you. These guys are fake as a $3 bill. Snoop sold out a long time ago, man. This guy makes his money any way he can. But who taught him the ropes? Dr. Dre. Not only did he teach Snoop, but Dr. Dre taught 50 and Eminem. If you do the right thing, and if you obey the Masonic world, you'll never go without payola. He wears the skull and bones on his arm. Let's flip it so you can see it better. That's plain, man. That's plain. And who taught him? Eric Wright. better known as Eazy-E. Look at this, man. I know you all think Eazy-E died of full-blown AIDS, but I got news for you. Eazy-E was injected with full-blown AIDS. Don't get it twisted. Eazy-E did go to the doctor for a slight headache, and they found out he had the virus. But Eazy-E was not in death mode. Eazy-E did an interview about what not to do and what he was ashamed of. And 9 days later he died. The only way you die that fast, if you have a weak immune system, you had a kidney failure, you had a liver failure, you had a blood transfusion, a bad heart, open heart surgery. Eazy-E just had a headache. Hell, Magic Johnson still got the virus and still lived. They was done with Eazy-E. They had nothing else to do with him. So they injected him with full AIDS, and Esau killed him. Still think America love you, black people? Think again. The only thing I can say about Mace is flaming faggot. Moving on. You know, Martin Lawrence is a very great actor. The guy made some great films and sitcoms. But I got news for you. Martin Lawrence with the rest of Hollywood is satanic. Taking a picture with the hand cupped inside the jacket is letting his elite know, hey, I'm a part of the brotherhood. He's being known and sending out the sign that I'm down here for the cause too, brothers. Keep sending my checks. Tyler Perry. A lot of you think Tyler Perry is a God-fearing man, right? He's satanic, and he's also bisexual. Hands over one another like this, letting his lead know I'm down for the cause. The Most High gonna light y'all ass up, and I can't wait. Bobby Jones. You know, come on, man. Bobby Jones Foundation look better than my wife's. Bobby Jones, flaming faggot. He's also a Masonic. Denzel Washington. Who would have thought? Well, let's take a look at him and P. Diddy congratulating one another with the Masonic Masonry handshake. This is a brotherly thing, man. Predominantly men. Spike Lee and Denzel. They're very tight. They share thoughts on this all the time. Let's take a closer look at their brotherly love. Man, this thing is deep, and all of them are part of it. That's right. Tom Cruise come up to Denzel Washington and give him a brother shake. Now, everybody already know Tom Cruise is an atheist. He doesn't believe in the Most High at all. Denzel is ruined, as seen here with Mick Jagger and Lenny, very drugged out as well. So let's go on. Eddie Murphy, Spike Lee giving each other the masonry handshake. Oh, don't get it twisted. The athletes are part of this too. Let's go to Allen Iverson. He's very deep into it. Skull and bones on his arm. The metal chain that he's holding is skull and bone. And seen here, some time ago, he took a front cover, arms crossed with skull and bones, letting his elite know, I'm down for the cause. Keep sending my money. This guy approved an ad with the devil next to him for a Reebok ad. That is plain, man. That is plain. John McCain, Obama, Masonry brothers. Look at the elite. They all hold the Baphomet sign, the pyramid. These guys are all in brotherhood together. The president of France, the brotherhood. They all joined hands. When Coretta King was alive, she was a part of it too. Harry Belafonte. Sad. Here's a random of pictures of people that's a part of the Baphomet and Masonry. I guess the question comes down to, is there anyone in Black Hollywood that didn't take the money bait? Yeah. Dave Chappelle. And remember, truth is always true. Shalom.
So Wale, I live.
got a heart like a
Alchemy, vibrational healing frequencies, spiraling other dimensions entered by your intention. Open yourself like a present to the present. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Transcend the earthly plane to the eternal energy flow, moving fast or slow as you glow and you grow in this celestial celebration, reverberation, sacred geometry. The waveforms transform your soul, make you whole. Let go of all you think you know and dive into the nothingness where...
Yes, you're tuned into Raw Real Talk, where we give you the real deal. Yes, we do. And today, we're going to talk about homosexuality, bisexuality, people that's on the DL, and heterosexuality. And we want to talk about the taboos that bisexuality and homosexuality bring for these crazy people out there, okay? Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact of how people are still cringing over gay people. To me, it's crazy. To me, it's judgmental, and you shouldn't do that. If something is not in your genre and up your alley, no pun intended, you do not need to judge the next person and what they want to do. And what people need to realize, okay, when people express to the people they love or to the public or to themselves that they're gay, most people ain't waking up saying, oh, yeah, shit, I want to be gay today. No, it doesn't work like that. Most people that are struggling with this taboo that we consider a taboo because we don't understand. We hate what we don't understand, and that is the truth. Being gay is something that you feel inside. You know what I'm saying? Being gay is something that you feel inside. You do not wake up saying, oh, I'm going to be gay today. No, I'm not going to be gay today. Yes, you have people that feels like if they go to church and they take themselves to a high plateau, that they feel they can change themselves and feel like they can do something else. I am not stopping or hating on people that feel that that's what they want to do for their lives. But the people that feels comfortable within them and their skin, or they're still fighting with themselves about being gay, don't disrespect them. Or about being bisexual, don't disrespect them. Because you claim, and that's the key word here, operative word here, claim to be the heterosexual. You cannot disrespect someone else because of the person they decide to be with, lay down with, or join hands in matrimony with. It's not right. That is just crazy to me. And there's a lot of people that are on the DL that want to disrespect other folks, and you doing the same thing. That is so crazy. And your sex life is your business unless you decide to make it public. Okay, so don't feel forced because you are heterosexual or you are gay or you are bisexual to be forced to talk about your personal life. Only share your personal life if you're willing to take the backlash of what other people feel about what you are saying. It's just like what I do every day. I have to be willing and open to take the backlash about what people feel about what I am projecting to the public. And like I said, being gay is not a choice in that sense. And yes, we have a choice to do whatever it is we want to do. And when people say a choice with trying to reform gays, they mean try to do their best to fight this feeling in their heart and in their bones about what they feel inside sexually. So heterosexuals, don't act like you're on top of the mountain because you want to not admit that you like fucking a man or that you like fucking a woman or the same sex. And I'm just being raw with it so you can understand exactly where I'm coming from. Because we have heterosexuals out there that think they're AAA sauce and putting other people down because of what they prefer to do in bed and in their bedrooms, or it's just love. Because whether it's the same sex or the opposite sex, it all boils down to just love and the things that you're doing every day. So on that note, give me your thoughts about the heterosexuals that think they're God and judging other folks, and people that's on the DL, but you judging other people because they came out with what they want to do with their lives and their personal lives. Tell me how you feel about bisexual, homosexuals, heterosexuals, and this thing that we call taboo. And ask yourself, do you feel it's something that you can be reformed with, which I don't think is a such thing? Do you feel it's a choice, or do you feel that people are just waking up, making choices and say, oh, yes, I want to be gay today? Share your thoughts with me. So on that note, God bless you, and you're tuned into Raw Real Talk.
Is the term supremacy, or white supremacy, where you have a people who, in their heart, in their mind, in their soullessness, believe that they are the ideal human, that they believe that they are superior to all the people, and they believe that what they do, how they act, how they think, is the best possible model of human behavior. So by default, from that thinking, whether it's conscious or subconscious, for some of them it's conscious, for some of them it's subconscious, by default, from that thinking, you automatically attempt to move other people in the direction of your thought and behavior. It doesn't have to be consciously doing this. You just automatically. It reminds me when I was at Morehouse and we were getting ready to take a trip, and a van needed to be rented to go, and the white female faculty in the department will say, well, you know, you can go and rent the vehicle. And I said, well, no, I can't rent the vehicle because I don't carry credit cards. And her expression was, something was psychologically wrong with me for not having a credit card. She didn't voice it in that way, but she knew that something was wrong with my response. Why don't you have a credit card? You know, there's something wrong with it. Don't you know that we created these and it's for the good of us? You know, blah, blah, blah. So you have a people who move us in the direction of their sexual insanity and perversion because that's normal for them. And because they see themselves as the model for correct human behavior, then they try to move everybody else into being them. Because that would make us correct. I don't know or care whether they are conscious of it. It's the effect. Even though we know theoretically, philosophically, politically, when it comes down to the nuts and bolts decisions and thoughts, we know that they are conscious of it. We absolutely know that. We know that behind closed doors, and sometimes behind not so closed doors, that they are conscious of it. But of course, what tells the degree to which they believe it and act on it is what they do. And there is nothing in the media that I'm aware of right now that is questioning the idea of homosexuality as normal and natural. There's nothing in the media that I see that's questioning the idea of orgies. There's nothing that I see that's questioning the idea of bestiality. When you go back and look at the studies, there's surveys, Masters and Johnson, on back to the Kinley report. All of these reports had questions in there to them because these were surveys of them about bestiality. And their answers, they're all in this, but because we don't read these reports, usually because they're so boring and all this scientific stuff, then we don't know that this is part and parcel of what they do. When we understand this, we see where they're taking us. We see that they're simply taking us up. I say, Europeans have convinced Africans to move away from our traditions. They have convinced us that the idea of traditions itself is old, archaic, outdated, outmoded, way back in the day, what have you. So for you to even think about embracing somebody's traditions in a progressive world, something is wrong with you. You're backwards. We deal with words. We're going to think about it. Somebody who is gay, out, open, front, versus somebody who is straight, boring, way back. We don't think about a lot of terms that we use. They have convinced us to run away from our traditions with all due haste. But any people is going to be culturally connected somehow. Everybody operates and exists within a culture. So if we're moving away from the African culture, what are we moving toward? They want to lie to us and tell us that we're moving towards some American culture as if American culture isn't European culture. So what they haven't done is that they have not moved away from their culture. They're moving us toward it. They've never left who they are. They've never changed it. You find evidence of everything that you have now, go back. There were proportionally as many single female-headed families in traditional European society before they were there, before America was discovered, as there are in America today. That hasn't changed. When you go back and you look at the drawings of the cave, you see acts of homosexuality, bestiality. You see all of the things that you see today. When you look at their mythology, when you go back to Hesiod, who was the first recorder of their history, of their philosophy, you find the use of the word bitch to describe Pandora. You know, this is thousands of years ago. They haven't changed. So the practices that we see today that we think are new, as I said earlier, they are simply manifestations of what they normally do. It hasn't changed. Our problem is that we don't recognize that this is European culture, and we don't recognize that they never moved away from it. They just politically finagled the situation to make it appear that they were not doing this or they were not doing that. It was not appropriate at a particular point in time in their relationship with us for us to know that they were homosexual people or that they were pedophilic, and that the most dominant form of homosexuality in Greek and Roman society was pedophilic between an adult male and a boy. Now that we have become assimilated in the sex education class that we're taking, now that we're becoming more and more assimilated into that, now it's becoming more and more okay. So when you look at the pattern, they're simply moving from those things that we find least distasteful to those things that we find most distasteful. And as they're moving in that direction, we're becoming more like them, so these things that we now would find most distasteful will become least distasteful for us because we become more like them. That's, in a nutshell, to me, it's really that simple.
Yes.
But in order for you to really see that pattern, you have to see them originally. Once you can see them originally and look at how things have changed over time, the pattern over time in terms of us assimilating their behavior, then we can see. We can see clearly where we're going. And we are simply going back to Rome, Greece, Proto-European society. That's exactly where it's going.
Who else is in there?
I want you to know that I'm here for you forever true, 'cause you're my black brother, strong brother.
You know what, man, over the last 10 years, there's been a new phenomenon, the down low. And it's like hit the world by storm. I mean, it's everywhere. Magazines. Yeah, Oprah Winfrey's talking about it. And it's come from nowhere, and it's like, it's everywhere, and everybody's talking about it.
And the media's giving it so much hype. Doc, let's start with you. You would think that every black man, especially in a city like Atlanta or DC or San Francisco, is gay, the way it's been portrayed. Truth or false?
I'd say 100% false, because I think, you know, it hasn't been around just coming around the corner right now. This has been going on for ages. Black men, white men, Hispanic men have been bisexual for centuries. So it's just only now recently, and I think if I'm going to attribute it to one person, I'd say I'd attribute it to Oprah. Because when Oprah had her show, and she featured J.L. King on there, that was kind of what made the big splash. We have been talking about it in the research and medical communities for years before that. But I think once she got it on there, all of a sudden everybody started talking about it. I know people started inviting me to speak at different places a lot more after that.
Doc, I mean, and black women are so paranoid about men being on the down low, and basically men claiming to be husbands and boyfriends, but keeping the other part of their lives secret.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, what women have to keep in mind is that men are going to have secrets regardless. I think the key here is that, you know, that he
This is more than a secret, though, don't you think?
No, it's the same secret as if you're sleeping with another woman, but now it's just a man. And so I think for a lot of women it bothers them because they realize if he's sleeping with another man, this man may be able to give him something that I can't. Meanwhile, with another woman, she can compete with that on certain levels, but with another brother comes into the picture, that's a totally different story.
How could a man give a woman... how can a man give another man more than a woman?
Anatomically, what?
Wow.
I mean, do I need to go any further outside?
No, you're not.
Don't go any further.
Rev, Darryl told me to call him DL, so it's appropriate for the show.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
But DL, is this a media creation?
I say it's been media driven. It was created by the people who did it. I mean, the media didn't pull it out of thin air. People did things, the media picked it up, and it drove the story. And I think part of the quote-unquote down low, whole phenomenon about it is that it is about being secret and hidden. People are curious about when things are hidden. So naturally, it's going to pique people's curiosity, and, and thus and so. And I think that's why we've arrived at this point to where people want to know, people are doing, and the whole ball just keeps rolling.
Is it a woman, Doug, or is it a woman?
Woman, yeah. Kevin, I mean, you are openly gay.
Yeah.
How real is this phenomenon? Because we always hear about men in metropolitan.
Kevin, for the record, we've hung out a couple of times. You didn't tell me a damn thing, dog.
You wasn't my flavor, so it wasn't no big deal.
Kevin, how real is the down low syndrome?
Well, see, everybody acts like down low just showed up yesterday, like down low wasn't in the 40s and the 50s. Somebody back then was sleeping with other men. Somebody's father and grandfather was sleeping with
So why is it so prevalent right now? Why are we talking about it so much right now as opposed to 40, 50, 60 years ago?
Because we're growing up and we're starting to be more open and honest about things.
I got two answers for you there. One answer goes back to why we're calling it a phenomenon or a syndrome, as if it's a pathological disease. We need to stop that terminology altogether. Second thing is because there's so much HIV in the black community nowadays, you need a scapegoat and you need a victim. In the whole equation of the down low, the victim are heterosexual black women, the predators are bisexual black men.
How prevalent is it? Like, what do you think the population of black gay men, down low men are in the black community?
Well, I wouldn't be able to give a percentage because no one's going to tell the truth about what they do secretly. We know Marv Albert and all these other people do freaky stuff behind closed doors, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Mark Foley, we want to talk about all the white Republicans who are out there doing what they got to do.
Up in
you know, they can do whatever they want to do. The thing is that it's just secretive. All I can tell you is that with HIV statistics, 50% of the cases of HIV and AIDS in this country are among black people, but we only represent 13% of the population. That's out of control.
Well, down low versus bisexual, to me it's the same thing. What's the difference?
You know what I don't call them down low, I call them low down because that means you're trying to do too much. And my recollection from what I remember back when I first got started, I'd have been with a football player, I've been with a police officer, I've been with some brothers you would never suspect. And you know what? I don't question if they say they straight, I say you straight. If you want to be bi, be bi. I let people do what they want to do. At the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Same question for you, Doc.
Down low just means secretive. So you could be bisexual and you could tell your woman, okay, I sleep with other men on the side. That's her choice after that, what she wants to do. If you're quote-unquote down low, and I don't even like using that term because there are a lot of brothers who are down low about their heterosexual promiscuity. They're just as down low, the brothers that are sleeping with other men and not telling their wives or not being honest. But if we talk about that, that's the difference between so-called down low and but just bisexual.
4 out of 5 is gay.
4 out of 5 is what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
What do you mean?
I just said 4 out of 5 is gay. Now, y'all figure that out.
4 out of 5 what?
4 out of 5 men is gay.
Not on this panel.
No.
I just said 4 out of 5 is gay.
Right. Clearly,
now, I don't know how we're going to figure this out.
Clearly you skipped math.
No,
I didn't skip math.
Real quick, Kevin, before I give Dr. DL the same question we gave Dr.
And that name DL makes, hey, that
but no,
yeah, okay, I'm just messing
that's a wrong number. Especially for this panel. 4 to 5
okay, let's say 3.5. It don't mean you got to be gay, but a lot of men do like to play.
I don't play either. I play football.
Okay, but all that ass slapping and stuff, did you ever be like, whoa, that's kind of nice?
Yeah, but that's not insertion, though, brother. I mean, you going a long way. You talking about ass slapping to insertion.
Everybody want to act like gay just jumped over football. Gay just jumped over rappers. Gay just jumped over Jamaica. It's out there.
Hey, obviously, we're sitting up here with you guys.
Okay, but guess what? Okay, we're going to say 1, 2, 3. Used to be gay, gay. 2. One of y'all got to be suspect. Now pick which one.
No.
Nah, trust me, brother. You were wrong on that.
That's crazy
I know y'all. Okay,
that's crazy talk. That's crazy talk.
Doc, I mean, do we have any real numbers, though, as far as how prevalent this is?
You know, people throw around numbers like 10% of the general population. The statistics that I've seen that actually look at bisexuality among all men, and then particularly among black men, it's only going to be among all black men, about 2% of the sample. 2% of all men will report actual bisexual behavior. But we don't know whether that's true or not. And, you know, it's the difference between behaving and then identifying and then desiring. Someone could desire to sleep with somebody of the same gender, but just not act on it. Or they could desire and behave and go ahead and act on it, but then not identify it. It doesn't mean that if a brother has inclinations or feels affectionate towards another man, that doesn't mean that he's automatically willed from will and grace. You understand what I'm saying? There's a difference between all this, and people think that just because somebody likes somebody of the same gender, they're automatically going to be this image that they see in the media. And it's not necessarily true. There's a whole spectrum.
I got to disagree with you, Doc. If you like another man, okay, what makes the act gay? Are you talking about the actual...
Well, go ahead and define gay for me. Give me a textbook definition of what gay means.
Well, to me, I think most people I know, most brothers I know and talk to, think the act of having sex,
2 minutes laying down together,
the act of having sex,
touching, kissing, holding hands, going on dates, all that stuff, that's gay to me.
Okay, let me gay away. But I can't pray gay away. I don't believe it.
Things change, and nobody can tell me that I didn't change.
There's a major flack going on right now about Donnie McClurkin and the fact that he's saying that he was once gay, but now he's not. He's reformed. This is kind of your story. What do you think about when you hear that, as well as the public perception of that not being true?
Well, you know, first of all, I think the flack is about Donnie being so-called homophobic, as opposed to saying he changed. From what I've been reading and seeing, the gay people say they don't care about him, you know, saying he changed. It's the fact that he's homophobic and said, you know, these different things on television. You know, from my own perspective, I know change is possible. I know it's not possible for everybody, but for this black man, it's possibility, it's a reality. So,
well, Dio, I mean, when you say that you've changed, I mean, to me, and I'm just going to keep it real, when I'm talking to my friends and when we're talking about this situation, barbershop talk, what have you, the thing always comes up. How can you be reformed gay? How can you not be gay anymore? It's almost like being a little bit pregnant.
Basically, you're gay, you're gay. Period.
Gay, you're gay. I mean, once you act with another man, you're going to be gay for the rest of your life.
Well, that's a perspective that's out there, but I probably from people who haven't experienced what I've experienced. If you're standing on the outside looking in, yeah, you're going to always say it's hard. But theologically speaking, and in the black community, we're very tied to the church. We can't ignore that. Theologically speaking, what God says is that all things are possible with him.
Now let me ask you a question.
So that possibility with him becomes a reality for me.
Let me ask you a question. I know it's used to be an alcoholic. I used to be a thief, but I don't believe that you used to be gay. At some point or another, you're trying to tell me never have you glanced at another man since you became so-called straight.
17 years ago.
I don't buy it.
But the thing about that is that your perspective on God is different from mine, because my perspective on God says to me that I'm able to do things that other people say they can't do normally. Yeah, that's a possibility with me.
DL, Kevin, stop asking questions. That ain't your job up here.
Okay, let's do this.
Doc, so what DL is trying to say is he's like a new virgin.
What I'm going to say is two things. First of all, I'm going to have to disagree with Kevin, because I'm not going to lump homosexuality.
Everybody disagrees with Kevin for the record.
Exactly, so we'll go along with this. I'm not going to lump homosexuality with alcoholism or any other sin, for that matter, because I don't believe it's a sin. Third of all, you can't change what makes your hard. I'm sorry. You can't change what's going to go ahead and get you aroused. You can't force yourself real hard, look at somebody and say, I'm going to get aroused right now, or I'm going to stop myself from getting aroused. If you see something that you like and you know you want to get with, you can do as much indoctrination, you can do as much brainwashing, you can do as much reading of the Bible.
But don't you think that's just a matrix worldview?
That primal arousal pattern when you see something that you like you say with a girl. Would you be able to turn off with a girl? Either of y'all. Would you be able to turn off with a girl and just say, hey, you'd be able to turn it off?
I can't do it. And that's why I'm kind of critical about DL's thoughts and what he's saying right now. I mean, so basically what you're saying is you agree with us. Once you're gay, you're gay.
Absolutely.
I believe.
Well, of course,
I still don't like the term gay.
You can't pray gay away.
But
you can't pray gay away. I don't believe.
Well, you know, again, you may be locked into your point of view, and that may be the way you say it. As a matter of fact, that's exactly the same way I thought about myself 17 years ago. That's the way I was. That's the way I'm always going to be. However, hold on just a second. However, things change. And nobody can tell me that I didn't change. Just like I can't tell you, if you're saying you're gay right now, hey, that's your thing, you're gay, that's what I'm saying. But you can't tell me I didn't change, because you're not living my life.
You said 17 years ago several times. What happened 17 years ago to make you say, you know what?
Well,
I don't want that man no more. I had the
exact same experience every other Christian does who meets Jesus Christ. He changes lives. The same experience any other person has. When you meet Jesus,
so you went from
a change comes in your life.
You went from being attracted to men, openly attracted to men.
I went to being from a sinner to a saint. It's not about sex to me. It's about transforming or aligning my life with God's will. That's what it's about. Now, other folk make it about sex, but it's not about sex. Even gays will say that it's about orientation, who you are. Who I am is a man God created me to be, not who I thought I was.
17 years. DL, and the doc just talked about 17 years, you're not you've never been attracted to a man in the last 17 years. I find that hard to believe because when you're attracted to something, you're attracted to something. I mean, I don't think that that's something that you can really control.
Well, where's your evidence of that?
Let me ask you a question.
Show me proof. Can you prove that I have it?
Can you prove that it's not?
Well, then we 50-50 then.
Oh, there we go. All we can do is take your word for it. I gotta respect. I gotta respect where you're coming from. I absolutely respect. If you say you're a reformed homosexual, then absolutely you're. If you say you're a reformed homosexual, then absolutely go ahead and do your thing. Be a reformed homosexual, but don't you dare go out there to the youth that are out here who are homosexual and try to tell them when they have natural urges that they are sinners. That's where you've overcrossed the line because that's your life. Stick to your life. It's a sin to you. It's not a sin to most homosexuals. So leave it alone. That's your doctrine, nobody else's.
You can't tell me to leave it alone.
That's nobody else's doctrine but yours. That's nobody else's doctrine but yours, bro. If you want to be ignorant, be it. You just talked about it, you know, not being a sin. But is it not a sin? It's in the Bible. Well, so is women wearing ostentatious jewelry. So is a whole bunch of other stuff, but we tend to put this hierarchy of sins, and for some reason,
some people do.
Homosexuality is on the top.
Some people do that. I don't agree with it. Some people do that, though.
Promiscuity before marriage, all these other things. Come on, now we can't selectively pick and choose.
No one's saying promiscuity
before marriage isn't sin. You know what I'm saying?
So why are we
We got to have one at a time. We got to have one at a time because the microphone's picking up everybody right now.
We're just talking honestly. We're not saying that promiscuity before marriage is not a sin. So why is homosexuality not a sin? I believe it's not a sin. I have that right. Just like you say it's America, right? Not everybody is a Christian. Not everybody believes in, you know, the Bible or the Quran or any of these kind of man-made books.
The Bible calls it an abomination.
The Bible can't call it an abomination. Who wrote the Bible?
Most black folk believe the Bible.
That's another show for another day.
They just took a survey. 74% of the people in South Carolina said they believe homosexuality was a sin. 74% of the black people.
They also voted for George Bush and Jesse Helms.
That's where we're
that's beside the point.
That's
beside the point.
Kevin, you've been dying to say something, Kevin. What you got?
Is this, it was 17 years ago, right?
1990.
Let's talk about 18 years ago. I want to hear what happened before you got off, when you was off the chain. What happened 18 years ago? What
same thing. I did the same thing you were doing.
You don't know? What did you do?
Huh?
Was you a top or a bottom?
No!
I think that's kind of...
I'll tell you what.
We're going to have a drink.
On that note, we're going to get something else. We're going to get a couple of drinks. But one thing,
but I tell you what, get the
alcoholics,
find out.
I got you putting on a...
Well, we told you earlier that a secret Vatican document, some 41 years old, has been revealed, and that it instructed members of the church from the highest level down to consider allegations of sexual abuse by priests as the strictest secret. While it's still not clear how influential this document really was, some were saying it makes it very difficult for the Vatican to separate itself from the secretive policies of individual archdioceses. Phil Salviano founded the New England chapter of SNAP, the Survivors Network for those abused by priests. In 1992, he went public with allegations that he was abused by a priest. He settled out of court. That priest was later sent to prison for 275 years in subsequent cases. Salviano joins us tonight from Watertown, Massachusetts. Phil, thanks very much for being with us. What do you make of this document? Some are saying it's a smoking gun. Do you think that's true?
Well, I think it lays out the plan that the Vatican had. It's almost as if it's a textbook that all the bishops were taking their lessons from. Because as we've learned in the last 18 months, in diocese after diocese, not only across the United States, but in many other parts of the world, bishops had a plan whereby victims were silenced, pedophile priests were protected, and none of this was ever reported to civil authorities or revealed to the general public.
But Phil, what I don't understand, if this was disseminated to bishops throughout the United States, how come it's remained secret this long?
Doesn't surprise me at all. There's a lot of secrecy within the Vatican. For example, if you look at this document, it's filled with terms like secret archives and perpetual silence and destroying evidence, secret of the Holy Office. I'm just tremendously relieved that finally the document is surfaced and it's being given the attention that it warrants.
Let me put up a statement made by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. This is what they said. I'm going to read it out loud. A 40-year-old document of the former Holy Office issued March 16, 1962 is being portrayed by some in and outside the media as a smoking gun, allegedly proving that there was a ground plan for covering up the crime of sexual abuse of minors by clerics. The essential point in response to those making this claim is they are taking the document entirely out of context, therefore distorting it completely. Your thoughts?
I don't think it's being taken out of context at all. It talks very clearly about investigating crimes against children, swearing all sides to secrecy. There's one part of this document that talks about the victim being forced to put his hands on the Bible and swear that he would keep this a secret under the threat of excommunication.
I mean, what they say in response is this does nothing to prevent and was not an indication that they wanted people to prevent filing civil charges against the alleged victimizer. Do you think that's true, or do you think that's simply false?
I don't see the connection, really.
Well, the church is saying, you know, that this document doesn't really say anything about pursuing civil cases or stopping victims from going to authorities. Do you think it does?
Well, I think it does because the victim is sworn to secrecy. I mean, it doesn't even, there's not even a provision in here for a victim who might want to need to go to see a therapist, for example. I mean, I think this is a very hostile document in the way it treats victims, in the way it has no sort of no concern for the victim's emotional health or their need to heal from this experience.
Do you think this impacts future lawsuits that are ongoing now? I mean, you know, there have been some suits in which some dioceses declared bankruptcy or threatened to declare bankruptcy, basically said we don't have the money. There are those who would say, well, if you can link this to the Vatican, obviously there's more money there. Is this going to play into that?
You know, I'm not a lawyer, Anderson, but I can tell you that from my interpretation of this, it does show that the secrecy goes right to the top of the Vatican. And if this is something that the lawyers can use, I think it should be tested. And I think many survivors, as well as many faithful Catholics whose trust in the church has been shattered this past year, will be very eager to see how this all plays out.
I'm curious, what went through your mind? I mean, this has been such a, I mean, this has obviously transformed your life. It's something you think about all the time, I'm sure. When you heard about this document, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
Well, I had heard rumors of this document for several years, and I had often wondered how it was that each bishop in each diocese was pretty much operating the same way in terms of moving priests from parish to parish and you know, having victims sign confidentiality agreements. The effort was always on secrecy and protecting the priest. And I thought it was very curious that each bishop was acting the same way. And now this sort of answers that, because it shows that perhaps there was a document or a plan that everybody was working from.
Well, it's a fascinating document. It's really still a developing story, one we're going to be following closely.
I'd like to say that if your viewers want to see the document, they can log on to our website, survivorsnetwork.org, and there's a link right on the home page that will take them directly into the document, and they can judge for themselves.
All right, Phil Salviano, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now a question. What have Herbert Hoover, Art Linkletter, Jack London, and Richard Nixon all had in common? Well, they've all been members of the exclusive all-male Bohemian Club in California, where every year at this time, the elite from around the country get together for 2.5 weeks of fun and games. Steve Shepard has this special assignment report.
More than 2,000 members of San Francisco's exclusive and all-male Bohemian Club have once again descended on Northern California. These men will spend most of the month of July encamped on some 2,700 acres of pristine and privately owned redwood forest. Forest very much like this. The place is called Bohemian Grove, and it's located just 80 miles north of San Francisco. The Grove is the Bohemian Club's summer retreat, and its facilities are hidden beneath lush forest canopy extending south from the banks of Sonoma County's Russian River. For more than a century, the camp has been a place where club members and guests from all across America gather to relax. The retreat is divided into dozens of small camps, the most prominent of which is called Mandalay. Among its members are businessmen like Leonard Firestone and Edgar Kaiser, and political figures like Gerald Ford, Henry Kissinger, William French Smith, and George Shultz. President Reagan, Vice President Bush, and Defense Secretary Weinberger are members of other camps. Richard Nixon is a Bohemian, and so are high-ranking executives of such companies as Eastern Airlines, Standard Oil of Indiana, and Bank of America. For the most part, the men of Bohemian Grove are over 50, highly successful, and, according to many employees, politically conservative.
Well, each year, many of them seem to have a stunt or try to come up with a stunt. Last year, in 1980, the popular button was Free the Fortune 500.
Membership in the Grove is by invitation only and is determined by such factors as social standing, occupation, and personal connections. Privacy is one of the Grove's most cherished virtues. Members may not photograph, record, speak, or write about activities at the retreat. While many public officials are Grove members, the press is a distinctly unwelcome guest.
We're from ABC News.
Well, get back there. Get back there.
Can we talk to somebody in the...
Get back there.
Anyone willing to navigate a boat up the Russian River can get a glimpse of the northern edge of the compound, but that's about all. Still, there are outsiders who have researched the Grove. Sociology professor William Dumhoff found out enough to write a book on the place.
Well, I think it's a playground for the powerful. It's a place where wealthy men from all of the United States gather for 2 weeks to relive summer camp with this ceremony called the cremation of care that begins the 2-week encampment where the body of dull care, symbolizing woes and concerns, is burned on an altar in front of a big owl statue. When that ceremony ends, they all start to cheer and yell and hand each other a beer.
Other regular activities include the production of 2 plays, one of which involves major sets, orchestral music, and extravagant costumes. The other play appears to be just a bit on the lighter side, at least judging from these old photos. Members also spend time swimming, hiking, relaxing in the sun, and doing a bit of drinking from the Grove's own privately labeled spirits. Like a boys' camp, the Grove has a symbol, in this case a somewhat fierce-looking owl. It also has a patron saint, St. John of Nepomuk, a legitimate 13th century Bohemian canonized for his sense of honor. What the Grove does not have is any women, not even as employees. Despite its camp-like atmosphere, the Grove does host some serious business.
To the degree that there's anything important happens at the Bohemian Grove, it's political. The important speeches that have been made at the Bohemian Grove have been made, for instance, and the best example, by Richard Nixon. Eisenhower gave a speech there. It was the first time the West Coast establishment really saw him close up.
Discussions at the Grove in the 1930s helped lead to the development of nuclear power and the atomic bomb. It was at the Grove in 1967 that Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan hashed out differences over their presidential ambitions. Each year, guests like Henry Kissinger or Zbigniew Brzezinski address members on their areas of expertise. Presidential counselor Edwin Meese will be among this year's speakers. And each year, other guests come to the Grove simply to enjoy themselves. This year, CIA Director William Casey is a scheduled guest of John McCone, former CIA Director. Baseball Commissioner Bowie Kuhn has been invited as a guest of baseball owner Peter O'Malley. Despite the presence of so many notables, the Grove is not without its small headaches. Anti-nuclear demonstrators gathered near the entrance to the retreat this year to wave signs and chant slogans. The Grove is also facing a suit from the state of California because it refuses to hire women. Still, the Bohemian Grove seems in no danger of passing. Herbert Hoover called it the world's greatest men's party, and there is a list of powerful people waiting to get in on it. Steve Shepard, ABC News, San Francisco.
Let's look at Northern California. You understand? Yeah. You know what's happened in San Francisco. San Francisco is just gone. It's clear over. I know that, but it isn't just down in the ratty part of town. But the upper class in San Francisco is that way. The Bohemian Grove that I attend, one time at a time, the Easterners and the others that come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd because it's just terrible. I mean, I never want to shake hands with anybody in San Francisco.
Every April, they roam the grounds of one of the country's most prestigious universities. 35 years ago or so, you might have seen one of them, known among his secretive friends as Temporary. Our number one story in the countdown, if Temporary winds up losing the presidential election this fall, that name is going to haunt him the rest of his life. Temporary. His name in the Yale University Secret Society Skull and Bones, better known to you as President George Bush. Now, for the first time in the history of that Yale club, 2 of its former members will go head-to-head for the presidency. Also the first time in the history of that slightly less secretive organization, the United States of America. That's right, John Kerry was also in Skull and Bones. In a moment, a journalist and Yaley who has removed some of the unknowns from the bones. First, who are these people? Skull and Bones dates to 1832. It was, in fact, a reaction to a secret society, the Masons, then much more influential than they are today. Founder William Huntington Russell thought of his little conclave as sort of anti-Masons, and as a home for the wealthy and the powerful and the people who would do anything for another bonesman. Each year, 15 Yale undergraduate seniors are tapped for membership, initiated in controversial, murky fashion dramatized here in the movie The Skull.
Skull above any other. Say, skull above any other.
Fashion satirized here in The Simpsons.
Who leaves Atlantis off the maps? Who keeps the Martians on their racks? We do.
Members of Skull and Bones, that is, not of the Stonecutters, gather on High Street in the Yale campus at The Tomb. New members, the neophytes, are expected to do things like lie in coffins and wrestle in mud and kiss a skull and confess their sexual histories in front of the group to bond themselves together further still, and presumably just for a few laughs. Once you're in, you're in. Skull and Bones is for life. Talking about Skull and Bones is for others. And there are a lot of bonesmen who did not talk, but did succeed. Henry Luce, who created Time magazine and all its cousins. Harold Stanley, founder of Morgantown. Henry Louis Stimson, the Secretary of War under FDR and Truman. William F. Buckley. Averill Harriman, longtime governor of New York. And then there are the presidents. William Howard Taft, whose father Alfonso had helped found the group and whose son Robert was a senator. George Herbert Walker Bush, whose father Prescott was a bonesman and a senator. The current President Bush, although his kid at Yale has not been tapped for Skull and Bones, even though they do admit women now. His child is not Skull and Bones. His opponent is. John Kerry, bonesman, class of 66. And if this needs to be weirder for you, try this. His wife, Teresa's first husband, the late senator from Pennsylvania, John Hines. His father was Skull and Bones. So we have an all-secret society presidential election. Not that either of them are talking about it.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
One a Democrat, one a Republican, miles apart on the issues, but both rooted in the same secret Yale society. Which raises the question, how exactly is the Bush bone connected to the Kerry bone?
Them bones gonna walk around.
Joining us now to talk about the Bones connection is Alexandra Robbins, author of Secrets of the Tomb, Skull and Bones, the Ivy League and the Hidden Paths of Power. She's also a Yale alum, and in the interest of full disclosure, a member of another Yale secret society. Ms. Robbins, good evening.
Hi, I was a member, but they won't talk to me anymore since my book was published.
Congratulations.
I guess.
Cornell 79 here. We don't know squat about secret societies, so we just go from there. We know from your feature in The Atlantic that George W. Bush was assigned the temporary name Temporary and just kept it. Do we know what John Kerry's Skull and Bones name was?
We don't. We can probably assume that he received the assigned name Long Devil, which is the name for the tallest member of the club, but I'm just guessing.
There seems to be no middle ground about this organization. Either the group is viewed as the warm-up act for the Trilateral Commission, or it is a society devoted to making people think that it's nefarious and then giggling when people take it seriously. Which is it closer to being?
It's actually closer to the middle ground. There are conspiracy theories that you'll hear that are based on nuggets of truth. For example, they really do tell their sexual histories. That's something that both Bush and Kerry would have done. The sole purpose of Skull and Bones is to get members into positions of power, and then to have those members hire other members to prominent positions, which is something that President Bush has done. Basically, this is probably the most powerful and elite alumni network in the country, and that's the significance of Skull and Bones.
Well, what happens when two bonesmen are in conflict, like, say, if they run against each other for president? Are there rules of conduct among bonesmen to cover this?
I've actually asked members of Skull and Bones what happens if it's a Bush-Kerry election. They told me they don't care. It's a win-win situation for Skull and Bones.
So there is no instruction, and there's nothing that prevents, obviously there's nothing that would prevent Kerry from running against the sitting bonesman, and so this is a secret society with all these rules and help your fellow bonesmen up until a point.
Well, this is an organization that's basically one huge superiority complex, and they're just thrilled to have bonesmen running against bonesmen, because that means that no matter who wins, there's going to be a connection in the White House for them.
And if we broke into that place on High Street in New Haven, Connecticut, we would see what? Something that looked like a Harry Potter adventure ride at an amusement park?
Something like that. You'd see dozens of skulls, skeletons, art celebrating death, war memorabilia, and several allegedly stolen items that bonesmen supposedly were supposed to take as gifts to the society's goddess. I am not making this up.
And what happened to her?
Well, according to Skull and Bones legend, in 322 BC, which is why you see the number 322 associated with bones, the Greek orator Demosthenes died. When he died, the goddess Eulogia, whom Skull and Bones calls the goddess of eloquence, arose to the heavens, and she didn't happen to come back down again until 1832, when Russell formed Skull and Bones. So now everything in the society is done in deference to this goddess. They have sacred anthems to her, they have a shrine to her, and they're supposedly encouraged to go steal things and bring them back to her in the tomb.
Now I get it. At Cornell, we just stole things for the hell of it. Alexandra Robbins, author of Secrets of the Tomb, many thanks. We appreciate it. One more thing you need to know about tonight's #1 story, the amount of money that members of Skull and Bones are rumored to get when they graduate from Yale, $15,000. Although, this Robbins magazine article concludes by quoting one of Mr. Bush's contemporaries as saying, "I'm still waiting for mine."
And if Washington doesn't have enough to talk about these days, the Washington Times reported today that unidentified White House aides in the Carter, Reagan, and Bush administrations now are being investigated for using the services of a call boy ring. The paper reports that 2 of the male prostitutes were given a late-night tour of the White House last year. The White House press secretary, Marlin Fitzwater, said he knew nothing of this investigation. NBC's Lisa Myers reports her sources in the U.S. Attorney's Office say the investigation is not focusing on prostitution, but on fraud involving the use of credit cards to pay for the call boy services.
Word about the president. For 7.5 years I've worked alongside him, and I'm proud to have been his partner. And we've had triumphs, we've made some mistakes, we've had some setbacks.
One reason people dismiss the possibility that the September 11th attack was a government operation is that they cannot believe everybody in the U.S. government would remain silent about such an incredible crime. A woman named Kay Griggs, the second wife of Marine Corps Colonel George Griggs, can help us understand why everybody is silent. Her information about the U.S. government comes from her husband, her personal observations, her husband's diary, and people she met. Even if some of her information is incorrect, the top military and political leaders of America are routinely blackmailed, bribed, threatened, and manipulated. She mentions many government officials by name, so if her accusations are false, she is making a lot of slanderous remarks about a lot of people. For example,
I found my husband's diary, which I have here, which they have been not anxious to have get out.
No, they meaning?
General Sheehan, General Krulak, Marine Corps colonels, generals, Al Gray, Cook, and especially General Joy.
Joy.
General Jim Joy and General Carl Steiner they're evil men. And they are in this diary meeting with my husband almost every day in Beirut. They trained the men in black who killed those people in Waco.
Not only does she claim that Waco was a deliberate killing, but later in the interview she says that the military knew that the Marine Corps barracks was going to be bombed in Beirut, Lebanon. That bombing occurred in 1983, and more than 200 Marines died. The official story is that the bombing was a result of Arab terrorists. She doesn't explain why the military would allow hundreds of Marines to die, so we are left to wonder if the bombing was intended to give the Marines an excuse to get out of Lebanon, or if it was intended to create anger towards Arabs. As with the September 11th attack, the Oklahoma City bombing, and the killings at Waco, it is difficult to find a sensible motive. But perhaps Kay Griggs is correct that many top government officials are under the control of criminals and lunatics. She explains that one of the methods to control government officials is to pressure them into doing unusual sexual activities, which can then be used to blackmail them. She believes that some universities have special fraternities for this purpose. For example, Princeton University has a fraternity called Cap and Gowns, which her husband belonged to. Yale University has a fraternity called Skull and Bones. Supposedly, President Bush and John Kerry were members of that fraternity. To most people, and to some of its members, these fraternities are meaningless organizations, but she believes some of them are used as recruitment centers for government officials.
George got into Cap and Gown, which is the same kind of fraternity. I mean, it's an eating club at Princeton for intelligence officers.
It's Cap and Gown. Would they have anybody involved that wasn't intelligence oriented?
Football players and so forth. But I have a feeling that Cap and Gown has a lot of intelligence officers and boys who may have been raped. Of course, they'd never talk about it.
Right.
But I know that the initiation is, they get very drunk, and even in the Marine Corps they do that. It's called dining in. They have the shellback ceremony. They do a lot of homosexual enticement. The boys are, when they come in, when they're new recruits, they strip them nude, they violate their personal parts. There's a lot of that is going on.
What about
even now?
Tail hook?
Yeah.
Is there a connection?
Yeah, sure, because the cream of the crop is doing this. They're having group sex parties.
And that was a Navy operation too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She points out that tailhook has a double meaning.
You know what tailhook means, don't you?
No, what is tail hook? Uh-oh. I got a feeling.
Yeah.
Is it a homosexual reference?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
Sure.
Did you know that, Steve? Isn't it something?
Yeah.
And the average person on the street has no idea.
No.
She accuses a Marine Corps general of being a cherry Marine.
What I want to tell you about General Al Gray, my husband was the chief of staff for General Al Gray, who was the commandant of the Marine Corps. And I probably shouldn't say this on the tape, and you all can get rid of it, but he's a homosexual.
Gray.
Gray.
Okay.
He's what they call a cherry Marine.
She then describes the initiation ceremonies in more detail, and noticed that her husband is one of the sources of this information.
I mean, if this really got out, that these guys are all inducted because they've got some kind of homosexual thing on them.
Indoctrination. I mean, or induction. They have to do that.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah. Even
in
if
a coffin. And it's even now coming into the military totally. The chiefs do that. They put them in the coffin. They do the bowling ball trick.
Okay, you're going to explain this. What happens when you get in the coffin? Why do you get in a coffin?
Oh, they get, when you get your eagles, that's a German thing.
Okay.
You know, it's what the German high command did, and most of them, you know, had the boyfriends and stuff, the Krupps and all of that. It is a German thing that they say goes back to Greece, and